Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to the Everything and Nothing Show. I'm just one of your hosts with the Moses. A beard that's a little mangled, hair that's a little too long, a scruffy motherfucker who's too tired, Clayton Kisco, and I'm accompanied with the rest of the Maelstrom Gamers with you today. On this podcast, we have the A-Train, the Canadian sensation, Alan Tollner.
It's me!
Yeah! Win!
Who is that?
Win!
That's me.
Win!
Oh, jeez, I love that intro.
And last but not least, we
There it
have
is.
the heartthrob, Rocco Avellino.
That's right, or AKA Butterscotch. That's right.
What?
AKA
Did I just
Butterscotch. It's so good. It's so
Yeah, I don't
good.
know. It just came out of nowhere. It's mine.
That's great.
I'm going to own it. He goes,
For
what?
those of you guys that don't know, us Maelstrom Gamers, we hop on a Skype every morning on Saturday, sometimes too early, and we each bring a topic for our discussion, but more importantly for your entertainment. We have 5 topics for you, so 5 discussions. Each topic is a YouTube video sent out Monday through Friday, topic by topic, and on Saturday, all the topics are rolled into one giant episode, all 5 of them on Saturday for free on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Maelstrom Gamers channel. On Sunday, there's nothing. But you know what you can do? You can go to patreon.com/Maelstrom Gamers channel, and you can send us $1, as little as $1, and we'll give you the YouTube videos for free a week early. If you don't like Patreon, that's cool. You can go to YouTube, our YouTube channel, and throw us $1 there. As little as $1, that's all it takes, and all of it is super appreciative, and it helps a ton. It puts money back in. We get new microphones, we get better equipment, maybe more storage
We could shave our
space.
beards.
We can shave our beards. We can do all these kind of
Yes.
things.
Power
If you don't have money,
Absolutely.
there's free ways to support us too. There's Facebook, there is the YouTube channel, there is Instagram, and there's Twitter. So follow us, like us, comment, subscribe. It's super amazing. We've had some pretty interesting, for instance, comments on the Flat Earth channel. So I don't know where all you non-Flat Earth believers are, but like apparently the Flat Earthers are watching us because the second we posted that
Oh, they
video,
were
they had a ton
unhappy.
of comments. Yeah, they were not happy at all. So it would be really great if we got some of you guys on that episode just to.
Anyone out there who wants to defend that the world is not flat,
Yeah.
you can get on our
Yeah.
channel, please.
Because
and
if I
just
don't hear
comment.
anything, I'm just going to assume I'm going to become a flat Earth believer. I guess it's that simple.
I might need to make an island.
Yeah, it's as simple as that the Earth is flat.
Yeah, so I guess everybody believes it. So I might
I've
as
never
well
seen a curve.
fall in line. Another thing we do is we are streaming on YouTube. Not so much Twitch anymore these days. We're
No.
streaming League of Legends mostly, but we have other games. You can come and see us show off our mediocre gaming skills. We're not the best, but we're certainly not the worst. But we are entertaining, so you will enjoy, I promise. That is the intro. Let's get started with a topic. Who wants to go first? I'm going to democratize this. Who wants to go first?
I'll take it.
All right.
Let me ride with it.
All
Okay.
right.
So my topic is about virtual reality headsets.
Yeah, it is.
Now we've discussed some little stuff about virtual reality when we were talking about like future of gaming and stuff before in our previous episodes. But today I want to just talk specifically about virtual reality. So 2016 is supposed to be like a huge year coming up right now with virtual reality headsets. They're coming out like all different months coming out this year. So with Oculus, I believe it's supposed to be sometime like real soon, if not this month. Let's see. For example, Oculus Rift. Oh, I had it up before. Maybe I'm not. I can't see it right now. But anyways, it's supposed to be in 2016. So launching later in 2016. So I guess it's going to be a little bit later. But with them all coming out, I think it's going to revolutionize not just something like the gaming industry like we were talking about before previously,
Yeah.
but if it's going to revolutionize, I think, a lot of different industries. And I want to just discuss with you guys a few different things about that first. So first off, I was talking to my wife last night about when I was saying like, hey, you know what we should probably do? We should look to invest into a virtual reality headset manufacturer or somebody that's going to be creating it or something like that, because I can see this being like a huge thing. 2006, it's really coming around. Back in the 90s, it was like kind of this thing we were like playing with this idea. Everybody really wanted
If
to
by
enjoy
idea
it.
you mean like a screen with like just red lines.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
over.
Just playing with the idea, We're like at some point we're gonna get into a system where we're gonna be able to like step inside and be immersive with it. But so I was looking up like different prices. I was like, all right, 2016 seems like it's gonna be the year for these things to be coming out. I want to look at like investing in a manufacturer, kind of stuff like that. But I also want to look at being, I want to look at possibly purchasing one of these VR headsets. And I've seen anything from around the $25 range, which is like the Google Cardboard one. They're saying, put a smartphone in front of it and you'll be able to kind of give that like very, that virtual reality experience at a lot cheaper budget, upwards to $3,000, which is like the Microsoft glasses, which is it's supposed to be like it incorporates like live action, everything else you can see in between, as well as virtual reality. So it's like you can almost take like your internet searches and project them onto the table.
It's like a 3D. It's like a HUD.
Yeah, exactly.
For like walking around.
So that one's like 3,000. So like the average range though, the VR headsets are kind of like somewhere around like 300 to somewhere of like $1,000. So it's like, okay, that's not too bad.
Now there's another one that's really simple. It's like McDonald's have it, for Christ's sake. It's where you can put your phone in. And
Yeah, just like hard style stuff.
Yeah, did you say that? Sorry.
Yeah, I said Google Cardboard, which is selling $25. Yeah.
Okay,
But
my bad.
McDonald's is probably
Yeah, it's like a Happy Meal, and you get it.
Yeah,
It's so
exactly.
dumb, and then it's just gonna make your eyes smell like fries the entire time.
So here's some
Or like
things
Is that a
too.
bad thing?
The body,
maybe not.
the body, for example, like the brain actually can't distinguish between like a dream and like our waking state. Like it goes through the same experiences either way. So it can't distinguish between like a reality and a dream. So what I'm thinking about here is like how, VR headsets can be used in things like entertainment, like we were talking about.
Porn.
Yeah, that is
Look, and the reality of the situation is whatever porn adopts wins.
wins
Right.
exactly.
So, Betamax, VHR, porn with
Hey, talk
VHR.
about entertainment too as well. I read this article on entertainment. It was talking about VR headsets and this company they're working with called like what's it called Live Like VR. Okay, and what they're doing is they're creating like stadiums. They're working with Manchester United right now. And they're creating like stadiums in VR so that when you go to watch the game on one of these VR headsets, it's like you're sitting inside the stadium watching the game. And they're also looking at tying in the technology of the 360 cameras that we had talked about previously in one of our episodes.
Yeah.
And starting to shoot the footage in the games with those cameras and then using the VR headsets so that you can kind of like become immersed into the game, like wherever you want it to be within it.
I heard they're going to do this with concerts too,
Yeah.
Concerts?
like concert festivals and stuff. Yeah.
See, that's going to be...
So like instead of buying like a ticket to go to it, you can buy a virtual ticket.
Right,
go.
exactly. Like a digital copy of something.
Can I get really excited about something really quick?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, cool. So I was talking to Sarah about some like things that you're touching on. Like, I was like, honey, I think we're actually pretty close to teleportation, but I don't think it's gonna be teleportation in what we believe it to be. I think it's gonna be more like avatar based. Like if I wanted to like come visit Rocco, like maybe Rocco has like the surrogate android just chilling in his like I don't know like room, and I'm just like
Your
I put
VR
my
headset
on, and I download into that thing, and like I move, and like I come on, I'm like, hey Rocco, and like we hang out or something. You know what I mean? Like,
oh,
which would be
totally
crazy.
cool. That would be a way awesome.
But that would be like teleportation. I feel like I wouldn't have to buy a plane ticket to visit my family. Like maybe I would just like,
exactly. Or like the like super duper upgraded version of Skype. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like you got a robot
Skype's
now.
gotta
You're able to
upgrade.
chill. It's not having to be done through.
I mean,
like,
it wouldn't be that like tactile feel with skin and all that, but you
Yeah.
wouldn't need to like walk around your house.
Until you have human surrogates.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
too.
talking way in the future, but I would think that would happen first before teleportation, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it could. It could.
I
Think about
watched-
think about healthcare too, like how this could get used in healthcare. What do you guys think?
VR?
Yeah.
Oh, so like they could get into like a tiny little robot inside of your like blood vessels,
Oh.
and
Oh, they
then
could definitely do
operate
something
and
like
be able
that,
to see
yeah.
around. Like, oh, here's where the scar is, or here's where like the
That's awesome.
fat buildup is, or
Yeah.
something.
Because they already have
Oh.
nanobots that can go in, right? And
Turn
like,
some of the- sorry.
Yeah, they already have battle bots too.
Yeah. BattleBots?
just like,
I was like, yeah, wait, what?
doctor, you sent the nanobots in, right? What? I thought it was nanobots.
Who mixed these up? Who mixed these vials up?
yeah.
Or you could think about it like in the like a neurosurgeon who's going to practice, on this person first before he actually does it, like the actual surgery. He can use the VR headset to kind of do like
Right.
this mock procedure.
Or other surgeons can kind of see how a really highly acclaimed surgeon does his work.
Yeah.
And learn from him.
You get the scalpel POV.
Yeah, right.
I think this like so what
It's
my
still gonna be
point
porn,
is
though.
like
Whatever
I guess
porn does. I'm telling
It's
you.
still gonna be poor, man.
Yeah.
with the 360 cameras.
Dick
I mean, just
POV.
the,
Yeah.
it's like
yeah.
whatever view you want POV, it doesn't matter. You can get whatever you want.
Have you seen that video of people reacting to VR porn?
No.
No.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god.
Wait, there
It's
is
just like a
VR
woman-
porn? I
it's
mean,
like- you just see this woman with this VR thing, right? And she's just like, just like pushing away.
Too
Just like-
close. Too close.
yeah, yeah.
That's not where I wanted to jump in at.
Oh, sorry. Okay, well, let's turn around. Go ahead,
No,
Rocco.
no, so my point, I was going to open up the floor a lot more, was just like where VR can take us, like where it can revolutionize, like where our society is today, and like the steps that it can help make with coming around, where it can be incorporated. Like we were just saying, the medical industry, entertainment industry, education. Can be used there, even in therapy, like I was saying about the brain not being able to distinguish reality, like conscious reality from like the sleeping dream state.
oh yeah.
Like think about therapy, you know what I mean? Like
I was
where you
thinking of Sunshine. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I don't think so.
Have you seen that, Clay?
No.
Really? It's like where the sun is dying and they have to send like a nuclear weapon into it to like reignite it. You guys ever see that movie?
No.
How did that make you?
Okay. Anyway,
Wait,
so in the
wait,
movie,
Sunshine-
in the
How did
movie,
how did that movie?
because obviously these guys are on a mission, like a space mission. There's obviously psychological issues that you could be facing when you're like traveling, right?
Yeah.
One of the technologies they show in the movie is they go into this. I think they called it the Earth Room, and basically they would go into this almost virtual reality state, and you could like kind of use it as therapy. So like he.
Make you feel
It's
like
Chris
you're-
Evans, Captain America, is in this room, and he's basically standing on a boat, and waves are like crashing in front of him. And he's just watching that over and over and over again, kind of like therapy, where you might have something like that now. Is like you create like a perfect environment for somebody to like calm down or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So I was like, you use a VR headset, something like that, I guess. I mean, that's a little bit more extreme. He's out in space. You want something that kind of make him feel like he's back at Earth. But
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter. I mean, he created that experience of being back on Earth as his therapy session. You can make it be whatever it is. Like, say it's like you're a kid that has trauma issues with your parent, and you have your parent just record themselves saying, "I love you so much. I love you so much." And it's like you see this scene that plays over and over in your head in the VR headset that just reinforces that you got this love from your parent or something like that, and the kid heals from the parental issues or something, whatever it be. You can create whatever scenario you wanted and use it for therapy's sake.
Yeah.
Or
that's a really good
education, like
point.
we were saying too. Like education, think about like kids being able to put on a VR headset and like learn interactively. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like games have already been proven to be something that's very beneficial to the development of a child's brain, and that it can help out with problem solving to even just learning things like I've used say for example this isn't obviously VR, but my baby can read like videos, just video, not even game where it's like super interactive, but video even works too.
Huh.
And I feel that's like 2D versus 3D,
Yeah.
But when my kid gets into games and stuff like that, and he plays a game like Little Big Planet, and we put puzzles and stuff like that all together or whatnot, I feel like it's helping.
You could, you can do some like blue collar kind of skills too. Like, I don't know why chopping wood like gets like thrown in my head, but there's different things that you can practice. I imagine.
Oh yeah,
Right,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that you
Yeah.
you practice for a job.
Virtual
potentially.
reality too first.
Yeah, maybe electrician is doing some stuff and he's like
Oh,
practicing.
shit.
You know what I mean? So instead of actually
Yeah.
going out in a field or having to do a test, it's more physical via the VR sake than like word bubbles and being
Or
like,
a car, working on a car instead of like
Yeah.
being underneath like a dangerous machinery or
So
something.
like
You're
pretty
just
much
Exactly.
checking
anything
stuff.
you can do, any type of any. So this would be something like why I was saying investment in the beginning is because when I was driving, I was thinking the same thing you guys are thinking right now. Companies are going to invest in this, and this is going to be the form of training, I guess you'd say. It's going to be like the replacement of the modules.
I
or the
don't know. I mean, I agree, but like I think I have a feeling, and I've talked to our friend Justin, who's in the VR business. Like there is a ton of money in the VR industry, but I'm curious if how much that bubble is being like is ready to pop, because I agree with you, Rocco, and everything you're saying, but I don't know how close we are to this, and I fear, bless you, and I fear that like everybody's expecting this thing to like completely do it immediately, and
Yeah.
instead I wonder if it's going to fall a little
Like,
bit before it.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Like trickle a little bit in,
Yeah.
then maybe really catch so hard, and then 10 years later,
Maybe
it's
I'm
like
completely
everywhere.
wrong, but like yeah, I don't
Gotcha.
know.
Well, I was thinking it for the sake of like, so my wife she's being trained right now for ICU nurse, right? I was like, there's two different spectrums of how, and I was going back, I went a few years back in my college years, and during a summer, I was working at Panera. So there's like two opposite sides of the spectrum. You're an ICU nurse, or you're a guy working at Panera, learning how to make specific sandwiches, whatever it be. So both sakes and both jobs, we have to sit down in front of a computer and go through modules that are like, okay, this, and that. Maybe it's a video of a person. Maybe it's you're having to interact with it and say, hey, this is the answer to that question, whatever it be. But think about if we were both in virtual reality headsets, the guy at Panera or the girl at the ICU unit, and we're in virtual reality headsets where it's putting us into those experiences, but then telling us like we have to do it the way that they trained us to do, or whatever it is. And you can sit there as a manager and watch this person's watch how they go through it, through their eyes essentially, and say, I don't know if this person's like an ICU person. You see the way that you kind of see their thought process, or you can kind of just see that maybe through the virtual reality experience they really weren't achieving what we were trying to get them to do. This guy put mayonnaise on it when they're supposed to be doing mustard.
Do you need VR to do that though?
Yeah, do you need VR to do that?
Like, don't you? Couldn't you just have a regular camera? I mean,
I guess you could, yeah. I mean,
and then there's other things that like people might think that might be really beneficial to VR. Like if you're watching a soccer player, like if you can go into the eyes of a soccer player and watch how he like kicks a ball, Alan, you might be the perfect person that like talk about this. But like I highly doubt that anybody can learn from that because it's more physical feel. Right. To learn how to like bounce. So like getting in.
You could still watch it the same as like you do like a normal game right now.
And I would argue that you probably would learn more because you get to see more about him and see where his other appendages, what his other appendages are doing, and how he's balancing himself and stuff like that, rather than being in like his eye view and only being able to see a certain.
I mean, that would be interesting, seeing somebody's like way they're looking on a field or something for any sport, really, because I think that's a big part of it.
Scientifically, but I don't know how.
Sort of surroundings, no, even like from a tactical or style.
Yeah, because like check it out for league, right? So like everybody looks differently. Everybody's doing something different in league, and if you look at what the pros are doing and stuff like that, and you're able to watch the kind of decisions that they're making, their dynamic decisions, you'd be like, oh, maybe if I can mock what they're doing, I can become a better player. I can start making similar decisions to what that person's making too.
But there's so much physicality, like tactile physicality, that like you do in conjunction with looking. Like I have my finger on my mouse and my fingers on my keyboard, and I'm looking and pressing at the same time. Sometimes not even looking at my keyboard. Like I would think a lot of valuable information, contextual information, is lost. And you could theoretically, I don't know how much information you actually get from just watching him look left and right.
Right.
Well, I know for sure that like a lot of times what even, I mean, pros all do this, but like most amateur players might not, is when you're getting a ball like passed to you, people don't always necessarily look around themselves first. And so that's what you'll see like all the pro players do, is like the ball comes to them before they see where the ball's coming, then they look around to see where other players are, their own teammates and like the opposing players. So that's how they know, okay, I looked over my shoulder, there's a guy over here, I can turn this way, and then it makes sense, like, oh, he did that because he saw he was going to get closed down from this side because he looked that direction.
So do you think like to Rocco's point, do you think like so I can see that like and do you think that like going in the first person view of a ton of professional soccer players, people like observers, analytics would be able to find, scientists would be able to find, reoccurring things within like highly professional soccer players. Like,
to be honest, I don't think anything would be new information though. Okay. I think that would be more from just like a normal average consumer level. You're just like curious what it's like to be in the shoes of like a professional.
Now, like, when I'm saying virtual reality too, I'm not saying so much like POV. You know what I mean? Like, as I'm saying, like, because it could also be like a 360 camera and stuff like that. You're just able to like maneuver around through it. You know what I mean? And that's going to be a totally different experience than like a POV, because if you're POV, how are you going to achieve that without the guys like wearing some type of form of glasses or something?
Good point. Yeah.
You know, and that's going to, not every player is really going to want to do
that's
that.
That's a good point.
Means,
yeah.
But because they have like GoPro videos of like people on soccer fields and stuff.
That's true.
Which is kind of like already POV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, to your point, Rocco, about managerial stuff, like if you did have virtual reality,
I guess
and he could swing around the restaurant at any second and to see what's happening, that would be probably pretty beneficial.
Swing around to what?
Like if it's a very busy moment and
Oh,
for whatever
yeah.
reason they realize that like something didn't happen, like they weren't as efficient as it could be,
Yeah.
he could swing around in virtual reality and see every moment. Like,
Like
okay,
these people are unhappy with their food here. Like these people are like
Yep,
are complaining
exactly.
about something.
and chain
Yep.
it and be like, oh, our burgers are just taking way too long because I could see how it like is affecting. You know what I mean?
Good,
We just
yeah.
lost Alan.
So, you know, you guys made a, you know, your rebuttal to my point with one of those things, and I agree with you guys though on the managerial point where I was like, okay, they're two different spectrums. You're like, why do you need to have virtual reality? It was really you don't. But what about like a person? Like, I guess it would have to be like a specialty, like a serious specialty situation, a scenario. Like you were saying, maybe it's like an electrician first, somebody that has high like risk,
Yeah.
you know, with the first attempt of trying to do something, like a bridge painter. You know what I mean? Like, guy that has to get out there on a bridge and paint the side of the bridge. Like, that's a really, you know, dangerous job to go do. How about, you know, like right
Air
now,
fighting,
NASA
like air pilot
and air, you
stuff.
know,
Yeah.
exactly. We have a lot of other places where it's already
Totally.
currently being used. You know what I mean? But it's like it was being used in kind of like a larger VR system, like NASA will use for their astronauts or something like that. But now you can use it for that guy that's like the bridge painter. Or you can use it for that person that's going to be like. Even the you know that neurosurgeon, like that specialty kind of that you maybe it would be better to have you train on something virtually before you go out there and do it in real life, and there's a huge risk involved in either you hurting somebody or yourself.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I guess only that would be the managerial area where it would be very important for seeing like VR wise, like that they're capable of doing before they get out there and step out there and do it. You know.
Yeah, I think just from a small consumer, like standard consumer
Yeah,
level,
maybe
like
not that
us,
level,
I think
yeah.
that's the most interesting. Is like that you could go check out what like an
yeah.
electrician is doing, or like a surgeon, or like
Oh man, you
soccer
talking
player, or
about
whatever.
like so that's a really great point that just popped in my head. Like YouTube videos, like I had to change lights, and I was like,
Exactly.
all right, how do I change lights? And the guy's like, do this, blah blah blah. But if I could just watch someone like in point of view or like with virtual reality of them doing it, I'd be like,
That would be a
cool,
good.
got
Or
it.
just like not just that you can watch from their point of view, is that you could move around to see like something that they
Or
might
that.
not show from a camera, because like I changed a car battery the last weekend and I was watching just YouTube videos and I was like, well, it'd be really cool if I could see like what he's like reattaching down there, you know?
Yeah,
And
totally.
you could just be like tumble this way and then like you see exactly where he's going. So
Yeah.
I think that would be like a really cool part of it. But then again, I don't know to set up what sort of virtual reality like cameras and because that's the thing is like you need some sort of like camera system
I was
to
just thinking, like-
create that kind of effect, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking like as you're talking, you're actually talking to this like floating drone,
Mm.
like cylinder sphere. So it's got
Yeah.
cameras on all sides.
360
And then
sort
like
of style,
it's just focused on your face, and then maybe you can like point and it like will refocus on stuff,
Yeah.
right? And so like maybe that's the future for YouTube.
No, every
Right.
camera has to be focused on everything. That's like it can't just
Oh,
be.
you're right. Yeah, so it always has to be a sphere, and it always has to like focus like
It has
or
to
have yeah.
So it'd probably have like fisheye lenses, and then that would be like really. I mean, that wouldn't be easy to process, but then it'd have to like have some sort of like software that runs that stitches it all together to make it look like what we could see regularly. Because that's one thing I always hate with like those 3D videos.
Like warp.
Not the YouTube videos. The YouTube 3D videos were pretty good because it didn't distort anything.
Yeah.
Remember like those QuickTime virtual reality things where you could like
Oh,
spit-
like walk. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
just like so
Like they do it for
distorted
real
and
estate
everything.
and
It's
stuff
just
like
like
that.
yeah, it's just so it's not the same thing as like actually seeing a 3D version of it or a virtual reality version of it.
Well, real quick before we break, what is the number one thing you would use VR for?
Games,
Games,
space
Oh,
games.
man.
space games. Very specific.
I actually, you know what? I was that's exactly what I would use it for too, but I hate to take it too because I was thinking about No Man's Sky with it. And I was like, I'm
Nice.
gonna get my son on it. I'm gonna be on it. Like
Star Citizen if it ever comes out.
if it ever comes out, which actually I've heard some updates have happened with it too recently, so we'll see.
There's always updates. There's gonna be updates till 2020 and it won't be out.
Yeah, I would say probably games too. Like I would use it most often in games.
All right. Well, that's
What would you use it for, Clay?
porn. All right. So our next topic.
I love that he's like on that top.
I'm looking actually. I
whole
want to
time.
share.
Oh, whoa. Don't share anything
I want
too
to share.
crazy.
Yeah. Can you guys see this? Let's see if this works. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
are we? Oh, but did OBS stop? OBS stopped. Okay. I'm gonna do something else. Oh, will that work? Yeah.
I can see that. Whatever that was. People
Huh.
try virtual reality. Oh, people try virtual reality porn.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you guys can see that?
I can see it.
Can you hear
research
it?
and science.
No.
You guys can't
No.
hear this?
No.
How does this work?
I am a little nervous.
I am probably more
Just let
excited
me
about
watch
the
that.
technology of the porno than the actual porno itself.
Gaming and porn
How's
seems
that?
to be the
Yeah.
two natural things that VR is made for.
I grew up where Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition once a year was my jam, and now there's virtual reality porn.
I think I like the arm's length porn where it's like, oh, that's there, that's entertaining, and then it's like, okay, now it can go away and I can go on
like,
with my day.
How does the cum work? Do you cum on people?
I'm a nerd, so I need all the pixels, man. Like 1080 by 1920. What?
Where they're
How
like,
many
oh,
frames
yeah,
per second?
you know
Is it
that one actor?
29.9?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
it
he's like this
31?
all the time.
I
I'd
am
rather be like this
afraid
guy.
that virtual reality porn is going to ruin regular porn for me.
It's like ski goggles for sex.
Oh, wow.
Is it one size fit all? Ooh, wait. Damn, I'm hot.
I am ripped.
Mark this day on your calendar as the day you had your first. Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's coming! It's coming out!
Hey, how you doing? Where you been at? You looking for me?
Oh, that's a vagina!
Where did this come from? Okay.
It's kind of crazy because like I have boobs and a vagina, but then my head's gone.
What I'm liking is the depth of the space. I can't even see my hands. She's got what looks to be a bong, or nope, that's not a bong. That goes somewhere else.
Oh my God! This is so weird.
Oh, it's her turn. They're going down on me, I guess.
She's saying, and I totally agree. It's weird how I try to get closer to it, but there's nothing I can do.
That is a big giant penis.
She sounds like she's having a good time. I'm still trying to get to know her.
Your armpit is
I'm
right
still
in my
trying to get to
face.
know
Oh, he looked me right in the eye. What the?
Hello?
This guy's like overwhelmed.
Oh, well, okay.
That was like 2 minutes. He's coming already.
She's coming up really close at the end. I understand.
I
Oh
understand.
God. Now, it looks as though I'm
This
finished.
guy's like holding his boner now.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right, I'll give that to you.
That shit's hilarious, dude. I've
Yeah.
never seen that.
What virtual reality glasses were they using for that?
It looked like the Oculus Rift, but I could be wrong.
So what's like the big deal, the differences between them? Do you guys know? Like the HTC Vive and then there's the
Supposed to be,
Oculus
like,
Rift.
refresh rate, obviously things you would be kind of looking for in TVs and in monitors for your computer,
Okay.
like how many pixels it
Resolution.
has, like
Sure.
refresh rates that it has, to some of them, like I was saying with the Microsoft one, can kind of like incorporate like live action.
So there'll be shitty ones and there'll be better ones.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some that have like controllers already kind of like tied to it and stuff like that. That's like the HTC Hive or something, I think it's called.
Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot about that one.
It's like in virtual reality, like paint. You know, it's kind of really cool. So you can like twist yourself around in like 3D and like paint the other side, and it's kind of cool.
All right.
Some wild things.
I'm going to go on to the next topic here, which is another kind of reaction video, with the sole purpose of just having you guys react. However, when I go to share my screen, there's some issues. I guess I lose the OBS support, so I'm going to try to figure out how to do this. So bear with me.
You want us to just watch it at the same time?
That might
I'll press
actually
play
might
at the
be
same
the
time.
best. So here we go. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna. All right, let's. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna send this guys through Skype.
And then we'll have to do picture-in-picture in the video in the actual.
Exactly. Yes, I'm gonna have to hook that up.
And oh Jesus!
Wait, what are we watching?
I just
won't
don't
this let
press
me-
play
why
yet.
won't this-
Set it up and then.
It says it's inappropriate.
It says
for
it's
this viewer.
inappropriate. Yeah.
Sign in to confirm your age.
Well, how do you? How do you?
What are we about to watch, bro?
I know what
Look,
it is.
I fully admit that I'm taking this from a whole nother podcast. because I thought it was hysterical, and I just wanted to share this experience with you guys because I
hold
thought
on.
it was really funny.
You guys can hear it though playing through. So
I'm going to.
how do I change this then?
If one of you guys could put the audio on so that we can hear.
You want me to put the audio on?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't turn mine off, so.
Okay, so
I guess
we'll
that'll
hear
work.
the audio from your computer.
All right.
So we should, when we're watching,
Let me
mute
move
our
this so I
audio
can see your
we can
guys'
hear.
reactions too, because this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be
Okay.
stupid.
This is gonna be
You're
stupid.
watching. What are we watching?
All right. I'm gonna say go, and I'll go 3, 2, 1, and then go, and on go you press play.
Hold
Okay.
on. You don't tell me to go yet.
Don't tell you to go yet. All right.
Don't tell me to go yet. No. You're gonna say 3, 2, 1,
And
go.
then go, and on go you press play.
Yep.
How's that sound?
Yep.
Ready?
You can hear it though. Okay, ready.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Yep.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Breaking news stuff,
Yep.
right? All right.
Yep.
All right. Enjoy. I can't hear you, Rock.
This is my bonus
Okay.
technique, the grapefruit.
I can hear it.
Normally, you can only get this technique in one of my classes,
but I wanted to share this with you because I believe every man should get grapefruited. You grapefruit your man, it's going to feel as if you are giving him head and fucking him at the same time. You got a feeling will he ever get than being grapefruited. So what you need to do,
I'm gonna get grapefruited tonight.
make sure you get the ruby red, sweeter. It's easy.
Sweeter's
if you are
easier,
allergic
okay.
to grapefruit or can't use a grapefruit for your medication,
Yeah,
you can
sure.
always use a large navel orange.
Okay.
Now, what you want to do is make sure the grapefruit is room temperature. All you have to do is put it in warm water.
Warm
Do
water.
not microwave it. Do not boil it.
Too hot.
Then, once it gets to that temperature, all you need to do is roll it.
Roll it.
The reason why you want to roll it is because you want to juice it up a little bit.
Juice
The
it.
juicier, the better. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find the navel. There's 2 navels to the grapefruit. Once you do
What are
that,
you
you're going
guys
to place it on
watching?
the plate, and the navel's on the outside. You want to take a knife.
He's so serious.
Yeah. He
Side.
means business.
There's like a dildo in the background.
Now, all this that you're doing is not.
There's like giant balls in the background.
I'm going to tell you that a little later. It's true.
I spy with my
Then what
little
you're going to do is you're
eye.
going to take it to the other side and do the same thing.
Big black cock.
You should have a grapefruit that has 2 sides missing, just like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put a hole in the middle of the grapefruit, approximately the size of your man's penis. Do not make it too big. Do not make it too tight. Just approximate. Then what you want to do is you're going to take the knife midway down and make sure it goes all the way through. All you want to do is make a nice hole in the middle of the grapefruit.
She's got a business, like you
Now, if you
said.
take it and make it too big, that's okay because you can always squeeze your hands like the muscles of your vagina. And if you make it too tight, all you have to do is take your finger and push the flesh back. It's just grapefruit.
It's just
Now,
grapefruit.
with the grapefruit
It's
your
just
man
grapefruit, dude.
has to be blindfolded. There's no ands, ifs, buts about it. Why?
Yeah, because he's gonna be looking at grapefruit.
What is your man going to say? What are you going to do with that? Is it going to burn and all that other thing? So you don't want any of that.
You
So
don't want
this is
that.
what you
So
do.
blindfold that motherfucker.
I want to do something a little freakier.
I'm about to do something a little freaky.
Your man will blindfold himself if he knows he's going to get some head.
Yeah.
Man is in the bed. You have the grapefruit already prepared under the bed. You smell the citrus in the air. He thinks you have on some Victoria's Secrets or something. He has no idea.
No idea.
What you're gonna
Nobody thinks that. Grapefruit does not smell like perfume.
what you're gonna do is just
Oh,
Grapefruit?
this is what the dick was
You
for,
got a
of
big
course.
Oh,
correct. What you're gonna do is replace the grapefruit in your mouth. You're gonna twist up and down on his shaft and suck the head at the same time. Now, ladies, remember, grapefruit are a fat burner, so you're actually losing weight while you're sucking.
oh
Now,
my god.
once you're doing this technique, it feels amazing
You
to
gotta
him.
be
He
kidding.
still has no idea what you're doing. Take the man to do is this: take the blindfold off.
Take the
He's
blindfold
going to be
off.
looking at you. What are you doing? But it
He'll
never
probably be looking at you after that sound.
grapefruit all these years, and that's what the
Dude, I want to make, like, well, obviously not about sucking dick like that, but some type of video that's just ridiculous.
Rocco. Oh wow. It's like,
Dude, right when she hit the. I was just like, oh god, I did not expect that. She grabbed that dildo off the table so fast, dude.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh shit, dude. She grabbed it off the table so fast. It was like,
And then she just like makes that like the ridiculous dick sucking, and then she's just like, "Yeah, that was really good, wasn't it?" Like so casual.
Yeah, like, anyway.
and then this is where you take his blindfold off, and he's like, "Whoa, was that a grapefruit?" You're like, "Yeah, that's a motherfucking grapefruit."
Oh, dude.
Dude, these guys.
Well,
That's
at least like
crazy
it
as
wasn't
fuck.
just like a dildo on the table for nothing. Like
No,
Wow.
she uses
Yeah.
That
all
was,
of her equipment. So
dude,
what'd you think?
I thought that's a hilarious video to be showing me this early in the morning. I did not expect that. I kind of like, I mean, I just kind of did, but not like, no, I didn't. Not like that.
Oh wow.
I like Alan.
Yeah, no, it's like
Is that what I said? I go, oh, wow.
yeah.
I guess I was just shocked the whole time.
Stunned.
My gosh, dude, that was crazy.
I can't.
It was like like I was saying, it happened so fast. It was like the dildo came out of nowhere. She inhaled it, and I was just like,
It was like exorcising a demon out of the penis.
dude,
It
that
was.
was.
It was.
It
I mean,
was.
could you imagine?
The power of Christ compels you.
Could you imagine hooking up with a girl? She pulls that shit on you. Like, do you think-
Oh,
I don't know, man.
You're gonna get blindfolded.
No, but not
What's
even
all
the
this
grapefruit.
citrusy
Like,
smell? I think she went to lingerie.
Yeah, oh, it must be that Victoria's Secret.
She must have gone to Victoria's. This is gonna be awesome, amazing.
but like, could you?
I'm just pulling out my pants.
Yeah. If that happened, would you? I mean, your reaction to that would just be like,
I'd
oh,
probably have
like-
started laughing like I just did and just ruined the whole situation. Pull off the blindfold and be like, start laughing even harder. Like, what the fuck is there grapefruit around my dick for?
That's
That's
it. That's the topic. Like that was it. That's
that
all.
was good.
It's
That was great. Thank you.
Oh, holy hell, dude, that was funny as shit. I'm gonna have to show my wife that later on. Odd thing is I feel like we're gonna probably end up doing some grapefruit digs. Like,
yeah.
like, all right, let's try it out.
She's got like a whole
Yo, this
business,
lady
and she's
is
got
for
like
real.
she sells
She's not
T-shirts.
joking.
It's like I've been grapefruited.
Oh my god.
Does she really?
What if
Oh
what
my
if you had
gosh.
like a cut on your dick and they did that?
Oh
Say
yeah,
what?
that would hurt. Like you were
What
shaving.
if you had like a
grapefruit.
cut on your dick and they did that to you?
That's citrus on there? That
Yeah.
probably would hurt, honestly. Man, you should probably go get your stuff healed, Alan.
Well, I don't have that, but I'm
Say that, sure, whatever.
saying what
It's an
if.
interesting concept
Yeah,
to,
it's an
to
interesting
feel
concept.
both the BJ and the sex at
Oh,
the same time.
I'm gonna have my wife do it, and then I'm gonna get the shirt.
Okay, keep
And then I'm gonna get the shirt. I've been grapefruited, and then walk around like when people like what
do-
does that mean? Just
No,
refer
see-
the video.
You're gonna have people say, "What does that mean?" But I would die laughing when someone goes, "Oh," you know what I mean? The people who know what you're talking about be like, "Nice." And I'll be like, "Oh shit!" It's like this guy knows.
Get them to sign my shirt. It's just gonna carry a
This
pin around.
grapefruit
Whoever's
culture.
been grapefruited before needs to just sign right here. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's like the Jeep wave, you know, where like you drive by another guy with a Jeep, he waves with like the grapefruit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
People are like,
Yeah.
waving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right here.
You start, yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Dude, no man. Yes and no. That was just crazy hilarious. But the thing is, she was straight faced the whole time.
Dude,
She did so good. Like there was a few times you saw that she wanted to like crack a smile and start laughing. She pulled her shit together. She's like, she Van Dammed it.
yeah.
She was
I
good.
love the AK Van Damned.
AK Van Dammed.
All right,
AK
guys.
grapefruit, dude.
Let's go on.
AKA grapefruit.
Let's go on to our next topic. It's my topic again.
Hey, hold on 1 second.
What?
And if you're allergic to the grapefruit, you can also use the navel orange.
Yeah.
Is that what
I
you
was like, oh, just in case.
Oh, perfect.
just
Perfect, because you know what? I was just thinking about how I'm so
my
terribly
allergic reaction to grapefruit.
and oranges are perfect.
What were your initial thoughts like when you saw that? Like, what was going through your mind? Like, grapefruit.
I actually didn't know at first, and you know what's funny to me is that Alan even pointed out the balls and the dick in the back because
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
even
so
notice
good.
that either because I was like still like I was focused on her cutting the grapefruit and was only thinking about how many dumb beets
And
were
Alan
gonna,
noticed, he's like,
put it
"There's some
around the
balls on
actual
this
beet
desk."
and like try to cut through it and just like I want to get the right size. You're like no, I want that knife around me. Like that's what I was thinking. And then Alan's like, look at the balls in the back. And I was like, there is balls in the back, but I never put two and two together that she was gonna just like choke her shit out.
Yeah, I didn't.
Like
It didn't really connect quite that then for me either.
it didn't, and then all of a sudden it just happened, and I was like, it just blew my mind. Like, boom, like just happened, and I was like, oh my god, are you
We
serious?
gotta
I
do
just-
more of these because like I love it. I love seeing you guys'
That
reactions
was
to that stuff.
hilarious,
It's so
dude.
funny.
That was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really
Oh,
wasn't joking.
wow.
I was saying I'm gonna show my wife, like, no, or maybe do the joking with the grapefruit thing. Maybe not joking. I'm not sure. Like showing her though, definitely going to show that. So it was hilarious.
All right, I'll try to find more stuff like that.
I'm on her website right now,
Yeah.
and you can book her to come give this like presentation for you and up to 10 people.
Live, huh?
How much do you think she charges?
And what's $750?
Oh my gosh!
What's included? 10-page booklet, a dildo, condom, towel, grapefruit, Q&A, how to squirt.
That's just added.
Note,
That's
note, wait, note at the end, the dildo is not to keep.
I hope it's that's disgusting. I hope
Oh
it's
my
clean.
god, that's really gross.
Yeah.
So what does she do? She like
Yeah,
drop
I was like,
and,
what is it? Like, I want like a fresh dill every time, man.
Can my
Yo,
dill be
she's-
fresh, please?
Hold on a second. You're gonna need to return those real quick. I'm gonna spray those with some cleaners real
Yeah, please
fast.
clean
Here you
your
go for the
dill.
next group. You guys ready to go?
Okay, but I will say this: should we put this on Patreon.com? If we get $750, we'll take that class and film it.
Oh my.
Yes. Yes. Please, people. Please, that would be so great.
Oh.
Please.
Wait, so what do we have? If we take the class, does that mean we have to practice the grapefruit technique
I
on
think
a dildo?
maybe. I don't think we could sign our wives up for that or our significant others.
No, we will have
but
to
if
be
we
those.
took the class,
Okay.
I mean,
I think this would be the most
$750.
awkward situation. in my
Okay,
life.
so yeah, this is a booking for 5 guys.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure she's done it, right? Like, there's like,
Probably.
we want to understand the grapefruiting experience.
I'm not sure how comfortable I would be doing.
Yeah, maybe if you practice the grapefruit technique, you'll understand it, and then you'll be more
Exactly.
open
It's
to
like
it.
the
Damn.
I don't know, whatever.
You're right.
I would
but-
try it. I would try it if we had somebody. If people want to get Patreon and go out there, $750, and we have to do that experience, then that's
We'll take that class.
We get like
Actually,
take that class. I take that
tomorrow.
dare.
fly to
I'll
Chicago.
take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that dare.
Oh my god, dude. Wow. That's, okay. It's funny.
Oh jeez, that's crazy.
So good. All right.
Definitely a funny topic.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Got to do more of those ones, man.
Yeah.
Good reaction videos.
I'll try to find more. That's great. So okay, next topic, and I apologize once I drop this bomb on you guys. I gotta bounce for a second because I got a baby crying. But I'll be back in 5 minutes. Video game movies is my topic.
What is it?
Video game movies. There are a ton of them. Actually, do you want to just take a break because I have a lot of I shouldn't just drop this bomb and leave. We should just pause for a second.
We'll just take a break.
Video games, video game movies. So, my question, and the topic is video game movies, but my question that I pose to you is, how far away are we from getting the first good video game movie?
Summer, June, Warcraft movie.
No, maybe. Okay, I mean, if that's really what you want to hang your hat on, that's fine.
Oh my gosh,
But
we got railed on that one too.
oh yeah, people are
comments,
pissed. But
yeah,
I mean,
people
who
are so
is
mad.
like, they're
So
fanboys,
mad.
dude. They're like,
We're
"Rah."
experts with World of Warcraft. I don't know what they were talking
It's
about.
not about World of Warcraft. It's a Warcraft movie.
About that
Thank
too.
you, Alan. Yes, okay, the Warcraft movie.
That too, Warcraft movie.
Right. It's not about
I stand in solidarity with you, Warcraft believers. It's not a World of Warcraft movie.
Okay. Warcraft movie is okay. So we have Warcraft movie coming up. I wanted to note that there were 2 other movies, possibly being the first good video game movie. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we already had a good video game movie.
Yeah, we did Mortal Kombat.
I was just thinking that.
Oh, that was a good one.
Well,
Dude, are you kidding me? Like, if you
Like, you
rewatch
could go-
it, yeah, it's not that great, but
Yeah,
like
at the
back in
time when
day
I was 7,
yeah.
it was amazing.
Yeah, but shit,
so was
you
the
can't
Super
go
Mario Brother
watch
movie.
movies back when you were 7 now today and be like, well, they should have the fucking shit that we have today. Like,
It's just,
you can't compare. Like,
I mean, you
it's
really
not
have
going to.
I think you do. I think there are classics
No,
for a
you
reason.
can't.
I
Well,
think
no,
there's-
you got to think if you were this age and you saw it for the first time, like as a 20 or 30-year-old like back then would you have been like, this is awesome?
Yes, exactly. That's my point. And
And most of the time you
Mortal
would
Kombat
have
would
said
not hit
yes
that.
because like you've been jaded by the other stories or the other
No, I
like
think it's only for,
visuals
like,
nowadays.
It's like our age. I think the movie was made for the kids our
He
age.
goes, no.
No, because look, superhero movies, golden age, right? Like they have perfected it pretty much, and we're sitting in some really great movies right now, which is awesome. Like I was watching Daredevil, like episode 1. I'm like, dude, this is just amazing. They come out with it with such professionalism and such seriousness. It's just a complete 180 from the Schumacher Batmans, where it was like, superheroes are a joke. Let's not take them seriously. We can do whatever we want. Blah blah blah. Let's like not taking it seriously. So. Anyway, it got me thinking about video game movies, and I was like, how far are we out from actually getting a good video game movie? And the 3 that I can think of, hopefully, maybe if I'm wrong, you guys can think of the other ones, but we have the Warcraft movie, like Alan said, we have Assassin's Creed, and then we have the rumors of Tomb Raider reboot with Daisy, what's-her-face?
Ridley.
Daisy Ridley as potentially starring. Outside of that, I'm hard-pressed to find, like, there's the next Resident Evil, but let's be honest, that's already like straight to VHS, so that's not going to be good. But if you guys have any other thoughts on the next set of video game movies and if they're going to be good.
I don't think I've seen any trailer for Assassin's Creed. I didn't even know they were making a movie.
They've only had photos. They haven't had a trailer yet.
There's no trailer for
But
it.
my
yeah.
boy, Michael Fassbender, is playing as
Okay,
the assassin.
gotcha. I think there's a lot of potential. I think that also has to come into the side of like the game developer side. Like, are you going to be developing quality video games where they could lead potentially to a movie? And how many of those video games do we feel like we have going on right now? Like Assassin's Creed, I wouldn't say would be like one of those really quality games, to be honest. So I don't know what the movie will be like. Was it gonna like? I'm really not sure at all. If it would be like a great movie, it's going to completely be something totally different from the game. It's going to be like just
Well, I mean, I
kind of
think
stand
that's
on
the
its
formula
own.
that they're trying to figure out, right? Like how like, they've realized how to make a superhero, like take the stories of a superhero in the comics and then how to
Make them into movies.
yeah,
and
how do you transform them into a movie? What's that formula? And I
Yeah.
think they figured it out with
Yeah.
superheroes. Now you got to figure out now with
how to
video
do it with games. Okay, so yeah, I would say you're right with that because in the Marvel side and the DC side and stuff like that they've been producing, like they have been able to pull out the comic book character and create a good movie all around it. I just don't. I'm still sitting here and I'm just trying to think about games that would be worthy of creating into a movie, and I feel like I'm stumped a little bit trying to just think about things. And I'm like, yeah, definitely that should be a movie. That's one of the greatest games that like.
But does it have to be? Because, like, again, Daredevil, arguably nowhere near as popular or important as Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, yet they've made...
Still made a movie. Yeah.
Okay, so they made a shitty movie, but I guess the TV show is, like, one of the best superhero TV shows I've ever seen.
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah.
Or Jessica Jones, for that matter, who, like, nobody knows about, but they've managed to make a very just thought-provoking, compelling, beautifully shot, like, awesome choreographing, like, just all-around amazing A-plus quality TV show, pretty much a movie, right? Like,
I haven't seen the Daredevil.
yeah, it's
show.
awesome.
Yeah, I haven't really watched. I mean, I've watched one episode of Daredevil, and I haven't seen Jessica Jones.
Okay, but so I guess that's what I'm saying. Like
Then I guess yes. I mean, you could do it off of like some like, you could pull it off with a game that didn't have something that wasn't like really quality. You're saying because like the Daredevil stuff going on.
But you're saying
Two Brothers is a movie. What do you think? You played the game Two Brothers.
Oh shit! Yeah, like that would be awesome.
Would it be good?
Would it be good though?
Because it's as a cinema, it's like basically a movie that you play.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but I don't know.
Yeah,
if it
you
would
raised a
translate
really good
into
question.
Live action.
You know what would be a cool movie is Diablo. I think that would be kind of a cool movie.
So you just go to a town, stock up on all your ammunition and weapons and stuff, and then you just go into a dungeon and kill stuff until you get to like the biggest, baddest dungeon.
Well, I would
boss.
think it would be like you got to play it. You don't make a movie directly from how the game's played.
Well,
you have like the biggest, baddest boss and some story tied around like different events that occur. Like maybe it's like not a dungeon that they walk into, but it's something like action scenes or dungeons. You know? What I mean?
I think they'd have to get good writers for those type of things because the writing source material is not the greatest.
Well, that's what I was saying about the quality of the games and stuff like that. So if there's a quality in the game behind it, it's like there was obviously writers help with quality.
So you just want like
they already kind of got a good writing underneath it. Although, like Clay was saying and arguing, is that we can make it off of games that don't have quality and still make it something that works.
So here's what just occurred to me is that that formula of taking a superhero movie into a film is obviously, I think, in my opinion, a lot easier than a video game, right? Because for the most part, the comic book is your own little movie. It's just on paper, 2D, right? There are some like camera things that you have to figure out, which is fine. But with a video game, unlike comic books, the crux is not the narrative. The crux is actually the player's emotions. And you have to almost harness that and then apply that to the movie. And that's really tough. But what I think potentially could happen if they could figure out how to do this right is to harness player progression, which is something that movies have, which is character arcs. But if they could tie the character arc with this player progression, you know, I think about a Zelda game, and if a Zelda movie was about a boy who has just nothing, and he's doing his best to combat the situation, but eventually, like literally, gets a new sword and like feels more powerful. Like if you can harness level progression and unlocking two character-driven arcs and narrative, you might have something. Because
isn't it kind of like Lord of the Rings sort of style though? Like they get like during certain stages and steps, they like get these things like or events that will happen that they overcome that becomes like the character development stage. You know what I mean? Like the sword they get, or
he gets like Sting
blue,
or the ring, or
yeah, he gets
that
the
would
ring,
honestly be
or he gets the mithril, you know, chest plate, or they get past the big, you know, spider, and it's like there's like these character development stages and stuff like that.
Like you beat level 2.
Yeah, kind of like, but it's like you become. He's obviously getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, you know, the character development throughout the story, and you're getting like tied to that main character too.
And by the end, what's his name is just like riding through an entire army as like a ghost battle and just killing everybody because he's like reached max level, right? Like
that would, you know, like and I know.
But that's the thing is that was boring to me. Like the third Lord of the Rings movie was so boring because they were like invincible and just like killing everybody.
Oh, right.
In the very first one, it's like really visceral and like intense and like you know you feel like something's at stake.
Yeah, so maybe that doesn't work then.
I think the only thing, in my opinion, that they can use like a video game movie for is the setting and like the characters. But then you can't use any story elements. You have to like come up with a completely different story and like
I was
use the
saying,
setting and that's it.
It's like
totally.
Yeah, like I get that's how the game is and stuff like that, but we're gonna have to like get rid of all that. Just keep those characters,
to make a good movie.
Keep some of the main guy, the bad guys, and then tie some stories and stuff like that in between, and then all that.
Because the gothic setting of Diablo is pretty cool if you set a movie in that.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And you just say, hey, now we got a game. Yeah, now we got a movie Diablo. Really not like the game at all.
Right. Because I think a lot of times they want to like pay like a little bit of like fan service to the video game part of it, and I don't think then it's like. People that aren't into video games aren't going to like the movie as much, you know? Because they're like, wait, why did he just, like, say that thing? That made no sense, you know?
So maybe...
Like, Mortal Kombat, they want to do, like, fatality and, like, finish him. And, like, every fucking part of the movie is, like, literally what it's like to play the video game.
Right. But if they integrated that in a more natural tone, like, where, like, he just, like, they just happen to, like, kill people...
Right.
And no one says fatality, but you know as...
Well, they could be like, cops show up on the scene and be like, yeah, we got a fatality here.
Yeah, perfect, right. Yeah. That, I agree with you. That would be a great integration of video game mechanics into a movie setting.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I just think that... I keep going... I mean, see, like, I guess my argument is that, I mean, they can make it happen, and they can make it work, like you were talking about, Clay, with games that don't have, like, we were talking about quality-wise, they don't have that much. I think they can make those work, but I think the ones that are going to really work, that are actually going to make a difference, and then maybe possibly create this whole industry tied together of the games to movies, is ones that do. I feel like this is my stance: is the ones that do really have quality. Like they do have a lot of character,
They have a story that's already.
yeah, they have a
pretty-
story that's kind of already there. There's stuff like that. It's not too difficult to transition into movies, so that like, then I think
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, like Last of Us, like a
That
game
could be
like
made
that.
into a movie as
Which-
is almost, and
And
it
it is
like
being
good.
made into a movie.
So
right
is
now.
Uncharted, I think.
Yes, it's so The Last of Us is being made into a movie, and just playing the game itself, the story that came right from the game, you can make into a movie.
Right.
You know, and be perfectly fine, no issues whatsoever in that transition. Where yeah, you could force it up on other games, and maybe it'll do all right. Maybe you'll still make money. There's going to be those people out there that are like, I just want to make money. I don't care if it's like it's like Adam Sandler is how I feel like it is right now. You know, like
Seriously.
he's got his ridiculous six and all these other different things that are just random videos just to make videos because he's still gonna make
Money.
some money.
Yeah.
Like, and he's doing it just to make the money. It's got no quality to it. You can watch it and you just wasted 2 hours of your life.
Right.
You know, like. But I think that where it's going to really make a staple is games that have that and bring that are going to be easy to transition into movies, and then those movies I think are going to be successful movies, and then because it. I mean, if Marvel did a terrible job doing that, like their formula was bad and they made movies and they were just bad, I don't know if it would take off as well as it has. They've done a pretty good job
Right.
Yeah.
with the way that they've transitioned those comic books into movies.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of movies,
Yeah, movies.
we're gonna go on to Alan's topic.
All right.
Speaking of movies,
The time has come.
time has come.
It has been foretold. The Sausage Party will be coming out. I've been talking about it for 2 years. I know nobody believed me that I was actually working on this movie because they never saw shit about it. But now the trailer has finally been revealed, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the trailer itself, and also what you think an R-rated animated movie will mean for cinema in general.
Yeah. Okay.
That is not for kids. An R-rated animated movie that's catered to adults.
Rocco, did you see the trailer?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm actually watching it currently right now for the 3rd time.
Okay.
So I want to just...
My thoughts are this really quick. Okay, I'll just do high level meta stuff. Fucking hysterical. I could not stop laughing.
Okay.
2, I think it's actually a really great commentary and like the perfect timing for something like this. We've been just taking animated movie after like 3D animated movie for kids for so long. Like it only makes sense that like now someone who's watched Toy Story at age 9 is now grown up enough to appreciate animation for me as an adult, right?
Right.
So
For a Western audience specifically, because like Asia has like anime that has been for kids and adults for like years, right?
very true.
Exactly.
So this makes a lot of sense. I couldn't ask for a better like Seth Rogen to like push this. Like I just his comedy works really well. Like Pineapple Express, like all these like goofy, young like funny movies for adults. And then what was my third one was you're inevitably gonna get the dumb parents who don't do any research. Like I guarantee you, the day this comes out, is there going to be an article somewhere about how a parent brought in a kid and is furious at Sausage Party because they thought it was
It's
for kids. and it
R-rated,
wasn't.
right? You said?
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah.
somehow or another they can't manage to bring their kid into an R-rated movie.
Oh,
Somehow.
it happens.
No,
man.
I know it will happen.
Like Pan's
It
Labyrinth.
happened in Deadpool, and that was like obviously marketed as like an R-rated comic book movie,
Yeah,
right?
Pan's Labyrinth.
how-
People
like,
flipped
how do
their
they get
shit.
in?
They were like, "What the fuck? This is supposed to be a kids movie." It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. You didn't do any research. You just thought like. So people are gonna come in and be like, "Oh, cool! It's a movie about like food. My kid would love this." And it's like, once you see this shit, you can never look back.
It'll fuck you up for life. Yeah.
So I watched it, and I was dying laughing too as well. So I was told this one recently about Alan. Alan saying he was working on this film, and I was like, what? I don't know about this, but we'll see. See what it is he's talking about. It's like it's adult R-rated film, animated. It's got food in it. I'm like, okay, like I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Like, I mean,
That's pretty much what I've gotten from every single person I've told about it. until this trailer has come out.
Well,
now they're like, oh my god, that one with the food is so funny. But like before, I'm like, yeah, so it's like this food movie, and it's like it's animated. It's not for kids. Like they're f-bombs all the time, and they're like, oh,
perhaps it's
that sounds interesting, man.
Perhaps it's this, Alan. Perhaps you don't sell it well enough, like
because I didn't want to give it away all the good stuff.
Okay, because like that's true.
The key part, like
he's selling it, you're just kind of like, wait, what?
The food,
like,
the food thing throws you off a bit.
The food part throws you real off.
Yeah,
like,
but the reason why they need it to be food is because, like, how else are you gonna kill these things, right? Like, people eat, and like that's the adversaries. So like, it makes total sense. It has to be food, right?
So one of my favorite parts, dude, of that trailer is without a doubt is the potato part when it's like first going down. You know, like everybody's like, "Yay, we're home," and the potato's like, "Yeah, oh, it's a nice bath. This feels good." It's just like, oh my god! Like everybody starts.
That is the big reveal in the whole movie about like what happens to them. Yeah.
Dude, I love that though.
Just a quick little tidbit. I did those shots.
Did you? Oh,
really?
awesome!
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
Dude, they look great.
I was going to ask you guys, what do you think about the animation? I mean, compared to like a Pixar or Disney movie, like how do you think quality-wise it looks?
Dude, it's on par.
Yeah, I think it holds up totally.
Okay.
Dude, and like these like where it turns all red, you know,
the
moon shot, like dude, it looks like.
Oh, dude, that's so good though. Yeah, I'm watching that again right now. Oh my God.
Dude, she gets the lettuce and like pokes in the eyes and like rips it apart.
Yeah, exactly.
And the carrots are. Oh, I want
They're
my
babies.
mommy.
They're just fucking children.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously though, so yeah, after watching this trailer and stuff like that, and then finally getting a good understanding of like what it is you were talking about, and getting it like being able to paint the picture fully, this is going to be, I think, a great film. I think it's going to be really good.
I think,
and the animation too, like it is absolutely up to par with the Pixar stuff.
And I expect more sexual jokes too, like the glamour buns. It's obvious how they made them look like a vagina.
Yeah,
I just expect
no idea what you're talking about.
I expect more of that. Like, I
won't reveal everything.
Yeah,
all your suspicions may or may not.
Like, I mean, here's the thing: is like, so the R-rated. Let's talk about the R-rated part too for a little bit too, real fast. So, it has been inevitable to happen at some point or another. Like Clay was talking about, you know, we're adults now. Since we're 7 years old, we were watching, you know, Toy Story, this and that. And all the like adult innuendo that's been like placed inside of the Disney movies and all the kids animated movies already as it is that it most of the time I love going. I love.
Just I'm watching the scene of the Saving Private Ryan thing and like, dude, that just kills me. I'm sorry. I apologize. Go ahead.
I like that gag too.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So like the adult innuendo that's like tied into like everything already animated. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. Like there's even like a Pixar movie. There's like a joke you as an adult get that your kid won't.
It's like the parents who are going to be out there, they're going to be watching these family videos can still get entertainment too, where it's a little bit above the kid's head, which is cool. But I think that like that helps like attract a lot of the adults to the animation. As it is, so that's like is perfect timing for them to come out with an R-rated film that's going to be specific to adults too. So even those adults that didn't grow up at 7 years old with Toy Story have now already gotten a little bit more familiar with watching animations just because they have like these adult tie-ins already as it is that the kids don't understand they get and they get some humor out of. Have been like what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say you're gonna see a lot of copycats.
Yeah. Oh yeah, coming off out of this movie. Well, that's actually kind of cool. It's like you're like almost like a pioneer for like Western animation, you know, film coming out.
To be honest, like that is what I hope is the biggest takeaway from the whole movie, and like in general in like the industry and everything is that people, assuming it's successful, people will be like, holy shit, like. Animation is limitless in what you can create in it, right? So you can tell whatever story you want using this medium and tell it however you want and in whatever way you want, and people will go see it, and like you can still get your idea across without having to like get a film, you know, necessarily like actors or whatever. You get
live action.
So sci-fi R-rated, animated movie, like fantasy R-rated animated movie, or not even necessarily just R-rated, but just for adults, like PG-13, whatever,
Dude, you're so right, because like at the core of why we are attracted to this animation is really just the over exaggeration of characters. Like, it's beautiful to watch, and if I could watch that beautiful animation, that talent within the wrapper of a sci-fi fantasy R-rated or like a horror, like I would enjoy that. I would get a lot of joy from that. So
because there's things you can do that you just you can't physically do in the real world, right?
And it doesn't have to be always funny. Like it could just be straight up serious, rated R animated. Like I would enjoy, or PG-13, whatever. It could be an action thriller. Like I would enjoy that.
So, like Alan said, though, in the East and stuff like that, they have a lot of this stuff kind of already going on in some of their culture. And I mean, some of us, I'm sure, have been already introduced to some of that. I've only seen a few films where it was I thought it was really high quality animation done for from the East, but it was really high quality animation done. You see a lot of anime stuff, a lot of different things that kind of still tied with 2D, but this one was this was 3D. It was done really well, shot well, and it was and it was it wasn't R, it was PG-13, but it had a really good story tied into it too, with a lot of action.
What was it? Do you remember?
Something Pirates.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't watched it. I haven't seen it, but
it was really good, But it was like I said, it's something that's coming. It's kind of norm in the culture out there in the East. So seeing that here out in the West now, and it's not even PG-13. It's rated R. It's taking up another level too as well, playing way more into the adults, not just because this one on Netflix can still be tied to a lot of teens too, Where I think that this one, probably teens would love it and get a lot of humor out of it, even though it's still rated R. I think it's going to be awesome that it's playing really to adults only. You know what I mean? It's specifically targeting that. It's okay, not even PG-13. You know what I mean? We're going rated R with it. So we're gonna.
The one worry is that I have so much confidence it's going to be successful with it coming so close to Deadpool. I'm just crap. Hollywood is just going to fucking start just pumping out rated R movies for the sake of rated R because they don't get why this is successlot. I'm I hope
it's rated R. We got to make all rated R movies.
Yeah, and I'm worried.
And that was something that was funny because a lot of the comments I saw about the Sausage Party trailer itself, because it's a Red Band trailer, obviously, was that people thought they were putting saying fuck way too many times. It was kids that just learned how to say the F word or something for the first time, and they were saying it all the time. But coming from somebody who's watched the whole cut of the film and stuff, it's just like any other Seth Rogen movie. They just say fuck all the time, right? It just feels more forced because you're watching these little animated sausages that look like a kid's movie saying it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That was just kind of interesting that the perception is different. If it had been a live action movie about Seth and all of his buddies in a grocery store talking about food, they were
they wouldn't
I love this fucking sausage and everything. Everyone wouldn't bat an eye. They would just be oh, that's standard standard fare.
Can we just talk about real quick the fucking headliners that are in this movie? We have Seth Rogen, Kristen Wiig, Jonah Hill, another not surpriser, Bill Hader, Michael Cera, James Franco, another not surpriser, Danny McBride, totally, Craig Robinson, Paul Rudd, Nick Kroll, David Krumholtz, Edward Norton, and Selma Hayek. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear all these people do their thing. It's great.
Yeah, and I think probably the main characters would be Seth Rogen, Michael Cera, Kristen Wiig, Edward Norton, Krumholtz.
I love the part that's a frozen part. It's they're in a freezer or something like that.
Oh yeah. And what's his name? Fuck, the guy that does the douche.
The douche.
Kroll.
Kroll.
Yeah. Dude, he's amazing. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how
I think you got a job for the next
how
couple years,
accepted it's
dude.
going to be.
I think a sequel. Though, what I would be worried, I would think, I would hope this is not a Ted situation.
They do Ted 2.
Yeah, and it was just flopped, and it was just not good, and because maybe Ted 1 just.
Yeah, I don't think, as far as I know, I don't think there will be another one anytime soon, but. Who knows? That's the thing is sometimes it comes down not to Seth and the writers or whatever. It's a Sony or somebody, they're like, no, we need to make another one right now, you know, and then they just rush, like, boom, another one.
Yeah, it would almost be like if you can get Seth Rogen and the writers in a room and be like, okay, let's not worry about Sausage Party. What other stories do you think you want to tell with this medium and like this rating?
Yeah.
And like let them go off. Because that's what led to Pixar being like like Toy Story 2 wasn't the next thing they did. They were like, that's fine, that allowed us to do this, but now we're gonna go this direction.
Right. Yeah.
And it was refreshing.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think just like having writers and general people in the film industry being accepting of the medium for not kids movies will be enough to like let people. So like if some young
enough to open that door.
Young writer or even an old writer that always wanted to do an animation but never could because they couldn't get funding for it. They're just like, well, I have this script that I always wanted to make because I thought it would work great for an animated movie.
Yeah.
Now's the time that this can actually be made. Obviously, like all things Hollywood, you are worried about oversaturation. Like you don't want just a bunch of R-rated like animated movies just for no reason.
Yeah.
Unless they're good ones, but.
I would hope it would be interesting if we would return to an '80s era of rated R movies because I feel like that was the last time that it was very, very saturated.
And it was kind of interesting. One of the directors, Conrad Vernon, who is actually the directors of like Monsters vs. Aliens, Shrek 2. He's like one of the co-directors on the movie. They were showing the cut of the movie at South by Southwest in Austin, and that's what he said was. When the first time he watched, I don't know if you guys heard of it, Heavy Metal, the Western animated movie that's like not for kids, basically. Like the first time he saw that, he was like, "Wow, like this medium is awesome. Like, why aren't there more movies that are like for adults that are like this?" And I had the exact same thing because like when the first time I saw that, I was like, "Whoa, like boobs and like things being killed and stuff." I was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
It's just like a really cool eye opener to see like what could be done in animation that we were kind of missing out on.
That's cool. Yeah.
This might be the first step.
Hopefully. But I do want to say that South Park was the first R-rated animated movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. For Western audiences, yeah.
For Western audience, yeah.
Anything else like how the experience was working on this film? Because like I don't know how many of our listeners remember or know, but you worked on this movie. You are in the visual effects industry. Like, is there anything visual effects wise that you wanted like that was interesting from your point of view as a?
I think I got to give a big shout out to the art director. This is his first time ever doing art direction for film.
Wow. Nice.
And I think like you can see from the trailer and stuff. I think the color palette and like direction. I mean, like he like I don't know if he designed like way the buns and sausages were supposed to look. I think it's kind of a unique thing. I think some of that inspiration might have come from Seth and Evan, the writers. But the guy that was the art director, I think like all of the storyboards and stuff that he's drawn to show like how things are supposed to look from a lighting standpoint were really, really good. And like the movie itself looks awesome from like a lighting standpoint, and I'm excited for everybody to see like because this movie the trailer only touches on a couple little environments, but it's like a grocery store where every aisle is like themed for what type of food they have in it, so it's like really cool looking.
It works
like,
so well.
Indian aisles, Asian aisles, liquor aisles, like kinds of stuff. Like it's crazy.
Good.
Oh, okay. So I expect a lot of racist jokes.
Oh, it's super racist. Like,
it's super racist.
Nobody is safe.
Nobody's safe.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, it comes out
August
11th.
Yeah.
August 11th. Sausage Party. Check it out. This thing is hysterical. I don't even care if you're 14. You should check it out. It's funny. You'll like it. Sneak into the movie. Terrible. All right. Let's go on to. Oh wait, what is that? What's the visual effects house called that you work for?
Oh, Nitrogen Studios.
Nitrogen Studios.
Canada.
Nice. You guys are fucking killing it. That's great. Okay, we're gonna go on our last topic, which is basically a revisit of politics. Now that everything is heating up, man. Okay, I guess I'm gonna preface this with don't want to offend anybody. We probably don't know what we're talking about. We're going to give our best unbiased opinions, and we're going
It's
to...
the Everything and Nothing show. It doesn't say the accurate facts show.
That's
okay?
right. That's right. I think we want to talk about from our perspective of what we know. I understand that we're going to come off ignorant to some people. We might piss off some people, but bear with us. We're kind of just talking how we see things, and I'm open to every and all discussions and feedback about how you, if you're listening, if you disagree or agree, and how you want to piggyback on any of these thoughts. So I really just want to pick your brains on the American politics situation where it is now. The last time we talked about this was well before the primaries were just starting, maybe not even.
Barely. I don't even think they were starting, yeah.
And so we've since come now from every person under the sun in the Republican primary to about three people. Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and I want to say John Cusack. That is not right. It's the governor of Ohio. Crap. It's not Q. It's
Rubio?
No, Rubio dropped out recently.
Oh, yeah. Ted Cruz.
It's Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and John Kasich. I want to say Cusack, but
John Cusack. Wow, I don't even know him.
John Kasich. He's actually getting a lot of steam.
Or Kasich.
It's Kasich. Kasich.
Yeah.
So
he is getting a lot of steam.
Yeah. So and then on the other side, the Democratic side, we have Bernie Sanders and we have Hillary Clinton. Bernie Sanders currently is he's losing on a state count, but in a delegate count race, he's about 300 behind, which is significant in its own right, but certainly not mathematically
Possible.
implausible for him to win still.
Exactly.
And a lot of people are like, he should just give up, blah, blah, blah. But like California, like there's like the whole western states, like Washington, for instance, where we're from, like has a very strong Bernie Sanders. So like they did the math. He has to basically get an average of 58% win in every state. So, you know, if he wins big in Washington, like 67%, okay, the next one can go down to 42. He doesn't necessarily have to win. So he could potentially still win, and he doesn't necessarily have to like go crazy, but
So let's also talk about
uphill
who's the
battle.
forerunner of the Republican Party, though.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Donald Trump has been taking the lead in the Republican Party.
How is that possible? What the fuck are you guys doing down there?
Okay, so I don't know.
So people are pissed off, and it's really interesting. Our buddy, shout out to Sam Spratt. He doesn't even know this, but he's an amazing painter, illustrator, painter. He does it also digitally, so that's why I said illustrator. But he recently did a piece of Donald Trump on one side and Bernie Sanders on the other, and he did a lot of like investigation. And what's interesting about that piece is that it's very two different sides of the spectrum. Both are serving the anti-government, pissed off and trustless like audience of the American people. Like they don't trust the government. They don't want a necessarily traditional government body taking presidency, and they want to change the way our politics run because it's just felt like they've screwed us over. So on one side, in my opinion, you have Bernie Sanders supporters who, again, in my opinion, are rational, and they want to take this in more of a cerebral approach. And then on the other side, you have the Donald Trump supporters who are very much overlap with the belief that people don't fear Obama. Obama doesn't rule with a big enough fist or stick. He thinks that, like, people tend to think that America is weak. We're getting stomped over politically in the international scene, so they want someone who's got a big stick, a loud voice, and a voice that is not a politician. So, and what they perceive to be a honest voice, someone who tells it like it is, and it's not the political rhetoric.
Right.
But they're
Won't
also
be like jerked around by the government, basically.
yeah.
Okay, and here's why. What I read something about. Here's why there's so many individuals that are like wanting. Because so Trump didn't like just come out of nowhere. Trump came out. It's like Trump came because people were looking for a person like Trump. That's why. That's why he's got so many voters and so many people that are making him the lead of the Republican Party right now too. He's getting voted that way because, and here's what my point is because so many people are living in fear right now. Like I like that Clay had brought up that they're like two sides of the spectrum, right? Like there's like fear and there's like anger, all kind of tied to these people. I mean, everybody out there voting, and like right now in the in the Trump side, what I'm seeing is that it's like people are afraid of like things changing dramatically too.
Well, I think that's what they want. They want somebody that's gonna like shake things up.
No. They want somebody that's different in politics. I don't think that they like the way that I feel like the people that are voting right now for Trump that are supporters of Trump are also the same people that feel like the end of the world is here. You know what I mean? Or like that it's coming, right? Because of things like that we have allowed and became so progressive as a country.
Self-fulfilling prophecy by
so things
voting
like
for him.
Gay marriage, right? That's a huge thing. That's like a lot of individuals are super in fear of these things because they see it to be like.
But that's the Republican Party. Like that's a large part of the Republican Party. Maybe not the moderate side, but certainly the evangelicals. Every candidate outside of Trump, or Trump included, said that we're gonna do X. Like my slogan, insert my slogan, because of things like gay marriage. Like I will bring us back to where we want, and that's just
or racism, for example, too, as well, right? Like so. He's playing into the fear of other individuals out there. There's a lot of people out there that, like I know we've gotten far in this country, from slavery, but there's a lot of like perspectives that are around today that are still, there's a lot of racism tied to it. Yeah. And he's playing into that too as well. It's that, I don't know, because I'm living here in the South and I'm surrounded by a lot of Trump supporters. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to see their side.
White or black or Mexican Trump supporters? White Trump supporters?
No, well, it's okay. So black is like I'm not around too many black here in the area that I live in out in the country in Georgia. Although there is a lot of black in Georgia, I don't see the black that I see in Georgia. I don't see voting Trump. And I don't see a lot of Hispanic out here either. That are voting for Trump. So the majority of the individuals I'm speaking to are older white, individuals. So it's like
that's the type of people that Trump would count on getting votes from. Right.
And like Roger said, they are pissed off. But I disagree. I think they do want to shake things up. I think they don't trust the government, and I think Trump is doing Trump is running on the fact that he's gonna repeal Obamacare because for whatever reason people hate it. Mainly probably because of the taxes and stuff. They don't think federal government should be that involved.
I think what you're paying for Obamacare and what you're getting is not like a good trade-off. So I agree about that. Yes, socialized medicine I think is a good idea, but it's like you should get something if you're going to be paying as much as you are for Obamacare. Because I've heard about how terrible the coverage is and everything like that. So totally. I think that's a fair point.
Huh. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the other thing is immigration. Very big stance, especially off the back of the Syria issues and terrorists. He wants to build this fucking wall. And
is that real? Is that serious?
He's serious, and he's dead serious when he says Mexico will pay for it. And good luck, dude. I don't know how you're gonna do that. So those are the other two things. So Obamacare, and then I think just making America great again. I think he promises that we're gonna be rich, so the economy is gonna change, and that he internationally he will not back down to anybody, and I think
he wants to be like a Vladimir Putin type.
Right, and I think
it seems like badass.
Yeah, and he does.
He's made some comments that I think I'm not a Trump supporter, obviously, guys, and anybody out there that's watching this who is a Trump supporter, you just got to be cautious and careful of certain things that are stated and said. So he said several things that are just kind of I could shoot somebody and kill somebody and still would get votes to be able to
I know, right?
Become president, or and he says, I'm going to go above and beyond the law. These things that when he says these kind of things, you got to be careful of this kind of stuff because that's very dangerous. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Does it remind you of somebody?
Yeah. It does,
and I don't like using that argument because I think it's used a ton to put on Democratic sides too. So whatever, neutralize that point. Let's not even There's so much other stuff too. I don't even need a Hitler comparison to be this guy's crazy.
Like that guy.
Yeah. He
One other thing too though is he had said he was on an interview. He was talking about airstrikes and stuff like this, and they were talking about terrorists and whatnot. And he's I'll tell you how you got to take care of terrorists. You got to kill their families. You got to kill their families. Now, there's a lot of individuals out there that are they've got so much hate and so much anger. They're yeah, that's right. That's how you got to do it. Da 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 da. Yeah. But it's what other individuals don't understand is that he just verbally said pretty much a war crime right there. What he was talking. What he's talking
killing
about.
Civilians, basically.
Yeah, killing civilians. You know what I mean? This is you also have to there's individuals out. This is the part that's scary for me. Living here in America is that there's a lot of individuals out there that see that to be okay. To see that what his statement to say go kill his family and to do that's an okay thing.
Right.
Like,
And
that-
and the fact I think what maybe some people don't think about is that the fact that he says that about some country like, thousands of miles away from here, what if he starts thinking like, oh, well, we have people in the US that are agreeing with me all the time, like they're enemies of the state. Let's send some drones to their house and like
what's-
kill them.
what's
He said
happened at
that.
some
He said,
rallies,
"Get the Muslims out of America."
Not even Muslims, but
No, he's not even-
like anybody,
Yeah.
Like just
So-
anybody, like the everyday average citizen.
Yeah.
look at what's been happening to protesters that go out to his rallies.
Like there's
and stuff
Muslim
like that.
Americans, like they're still American. I don't understand. Like just because they're
Oh, I
Muslim
know.
doesn't change anything.
I know, but like, and then you have like the ignorance that is exuded from him, and the fear and like the anger and the hatred drumming. Like I can't like that, dude. It's like going to high school and thinking that the most popular kid who's the bully is the guy that you want to stay the most popular kid. And like what average student wants that? Like why would you want this?
The student that feels like that
they'll
the
gain
school's
power by being with
threatened.
him.
Yeah, like they're gonna get some
Yeah.
power somehow, so they feel threatened. Like it's like there's a bunch of there's a bunch of people out here that feel like this country is really weak. They feel like
It's
that somehow
insane.
they feel though this is what they look at. They look at somebody like Trump and they look and they see that guy and they see his actions that he does and they see the hatred that he spews and he sees the anger that he spews and they go, that's strong. And they say that's a leader. That's a strong leader person right there. That's somebody who I want to lead us. Person's gonna make America great again. That person right there is gonna
Right.
say whatever's on his mind.
It's
gonna,
the anti-Obama. Because they feel like Obama's way too weak. He's soft-spoken. He doesn't get anything done. Like all of these trade deals and stuff like that have just been like us rolling over. Like,
right.
but
I don't know.
I don't think trying like the opposite, letting the pendulum swing that heavy, is the correct.
And a lot of
choice.
they
It's
say
insane.
the same thing about Bernie. They say he's just the opposite side of the spectrum. Like there's a lot of anger there. There's a lot of anger for the way that the society is being ran right now, the way that the government is. That he's just like his entire political platform's like is moving because of the anger.
Yeah, but it's anger that's focused and like it's not.
Trust me, I get it. I
You know
get
what I
it.
mean? It's like let's
I'm just
take
saying
our
it's still
anger,
the opposite
turn it
side of
into
the
passion,
spectrum.
and
It's the opposite side of the spectrum. It's
Yeah.
still like the same kind of emotion being directed in different ways. So like where the other ones are like the Sanders side is like, let's use this anger because we're all frustrated and we're all upset with the way things are to make things better. What can we do to find a solution to make things better?
be
Let's all
rational.
get together to do it. Where the other side's just like, it's anger in the sense of like you oppose anything that I think of as right now, and I'm willing to like strike you. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that should be
the thing
okay.
is, like, the reason I have more trust in Sanders actually doing anything is because he's been in politics since he's been very young, whereas Trump has just been in business individual since he's been very young. He has no political affiliation until.
And that's
he just
another
decided
reason
to
why.
vote. It's like I feel like. Well, sorry, just real quick. I just want to say that's why I feel like either of these guys. Like, Obama was like very had like a great plan that he wanted to like achieve when he was in office. When he was campaigning, like he sounded like he was a person that was going to bring change. Like that was his big slogan, right? But I think what happened was the reality of politics like hit him in the face when he got elected and was like, oh, like I really want to change this one. Then it's like, okay, well then you got to get it approved by Congress. Now you got to get it approved by this person. Now you got to get it approved by this person. They can all like fire back at you and like make sure you can't achieve your dream. So I do worry that like even if Trump or Sanders, one of them, got elected, what they want to do will never make it, like their plan will never go through the entire way. Just what they are.
Here's the two different arguments on that. First off, I wanted to say that yes, with the Trump. Anyways, the arguments. Trump supporters will say Trump. What he stated is, "I'll go above the law." You know what I mean? Like I'll go above the law, kind of thing. Right?
But that's just talk, right?
Yeah, in the sense
Like
of
who-
I feel
like
like
who
that's also
listens to
kind of in a sense that's kind of in a sense what Obama's tried to do with them saying like, okay, he's applied the most what do they call it when the president makes a decision,
Pardons?
martial law kind of deal,
Oh,
like martial law, not martial law,
executive decisions.
executive decision. Yeah, that's what you had just said. Yeah, so like he's been making a lot of executive decisions because of the issues of like the Congress and all these other different things going around. We're still trying to be able to make a change. Like so, this is I guess the way that Donald Trump is supposing that he'll go around the law, is trying to do executive decision making. Where the other side of the story is that Bernie Sanders says, guys, I'm this is the stuff that I want to have happen. But don't think that this is just going to happen like overnight. Expect that if I was to be, elected as president, there's going to have to be some type of political revolution, and I'm going to be the one that hopefully help start that, because we're going to need everybody to come together to be able to start that change. Not expecting that his platform is just going to be accepted and taken off right from day one. He anticipates that it's actually going to be done through like a grassroots effort of us coming together to change the political system. And then that's really the only way that it can be achieved, not the Obama way, which is just get elected, and then try to do it yourself as the president, because obviously you're going to have all these different hurdles. Those hurdles are going to be less likely to come around, or more likely to allow a decision to be made if the people are in the political revolution is going on at the same time, which is what Bernie says the way he's trying to approach changing America, where the other one's just like, do it by force. I'm going to do it. If you say you're not going to, I'm going to change. Well, I'm going to go above and above. I'm going to go above the law, and beyond the law. I was like, that's just scary, though. Like,
yeah, it is.
One's saying let's do it with the people and have the people involved, and the other one's like, screw that, I'm just going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what if we don't like what you're doing with your eyes?
No, I was just like thinking about what
So
he
it's-
was.
I don't know. So for me, it's like, it's scary because he's got a lot of support.
Yeah.
And then
There's a
what
lot
do you guys think about Hillary?
Actually, I don't.
Because
mind
she's
that.
actually a front runner for Democratic Party.
I actually like some of her. I was telling this to Rocco earlier. I actually think I like some of her stance on issues over Bernie's in some cases, like gun control. She's much harder on gun control than Bernie is, and I actually appreciate that, and that's something I like.
Oh, really? She's harder than Bernie on gun control?
Yeah, she'll like if it without disrupting the Constitution or going against the Constitution, she wants to do everything in her power to make owning guns as difficult as owning a car. And whereas Bernie's like, well, that's not realistic. You have to work with people, blah, blah, blah. He's a little bit like he's more wishy-washy, but he's much more passionate on something like education and the political system, which I also value strongly. So where Hillary doesn't necessarily have a strong passion with.
Yeah, she seems like more like a liar also, though. Like,
Yeah, okay, that's what I was gonna say
that's,
here.
Like, the
So-
biggest problem is like she might be making a lot of promises that she has no intention of keeping.
One of the biggest things for me when I'm looking at everybody that's out here running right now is it's like a reason why I haven't ran before. I mean, I haven't ran before. I haven't like voted before is because everybody that was like I was capable of voting for, I felt like was wishy washy. You know what I mean? It was just like it was a political game. It was like, okay, in 1998, I can say that I'm completely against gays, but now I'm running for president here in 2016, and I know that I need that vote, those extra votes. So I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm pro-gay. And it's like, and I feel like out of all the other, like out of most of like the Hillary Clinton, let's just say, and the Donald Trump, the kind of the forerunners right now in the parties, I feel like both of those guys have been so super wishy-washy. There's too many like credible evidence, like interviews to like anything that's gone on where it's like I've heard opposing sides, different art. I mean, I've heard them say whatever the hell it is that they felt like they needed to say at that moment, not what they truly believed in. Where the only person I feel like has stood on his platform for their entire lives has been Bernie Sanders from the 60s and 70s. He said the same exact damn thing to today in 2016. It's like, well, he's not the one that's changing his mind as the time goes on just because of who's going to give him the votes. And that to me shows character. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that shows me like, okay, that guy means that if he says that, that's probably what he's really going to be doing, what he's saying for his entire life, not just like we were saying gun control today, but 10 years ago was like anti any gun control. Which stand is she really going to take whenever she gets elected?
And Hillary's they've like I've seen the compilation videos of her changing her stance of something she said like 10 years ago or whatever. But like Trump alone has like changed his stance within like 6 months. Like it's insane. It's like he has like a split personality. It's so crazy. Like he can say one thing and then totally change what he said, like the opposite of it in like 3 months in front of like a different audience. I'm just like,
and not bat an eyelash.
Yeah, and just doesn't
That's
care.
a big deal.
Like how can you get that guy to be giving you like a presidential address and like trust anything he says? Like how is that going to make you trust the government anymore?
What's really funny is we know some people who's worked for him and are like, he's lying through his teeth. Like I don't trust that guy. Like so, people who have worked for him, who have bought into his systems, have come back and like Trump University and all this other stuff. They've been like, dude, no, it doesn't work. So like he's so good at selling That's why he is who he is he's so good at selling this facade. You buy into it, and then the next morning you wake up and your money's gone. And you're like,
everyone's going to be like, oh, I'm going to be the next Donald Trump because he's going to be president. I'm going to be like super rich because of my business. Like, no, dude, like, no.
It not works like that.
It's honestly though, it's I don't know.
They're like, oh, everybody will be millionaires because he's going to turn the economy around like so well, and like Bernie's going to bankrupt us all because he's making us pay so much for taxes.
Dude, the socialism argument is a whole nother argument. Like, we can go into that too. I wanted to say really quick, Alan, you're not the only person who thinks that. I think a large majority of people realize that Hillary has a more pragmatic approach, and she is probably more, you would think, able to get things done because she's not trying to aim for the moon, whereas Bernie Sanders has, been consistent in his thoughts, but realistically probably has a lot more friction in front of him to get the things that he wants to get done, like Obama
He's not afraid to like rub people the wrong way if he needs to and stuff.
But I'm okay with that when it comes down to it. Like, I want someone to be passionate and just try to move the needle forward.
Yeah, how is that not the same as like people wanting like a strong, like badass guy in Donald Trump? How is that not the same with Bernie Sanders? Like he does that kind of stuff. He's been doing that stuff for like decades, like in Congress, wherever. He's just like calling people out on their bullshit all the time. Like, how is that not as badass as like Donald Trump doing it?
And while Obamacare might not be a perfect solution, where I think a lot of people get caught up and is like, well, is it going to be perfect the first time? It's like, of course not. Obama had so much friction, but he's the one president that actually got healthcare reform when so many presidents before him have failed. Yeah. So for him to just even get Obamacare started so that future presidents and elects can like build off of it is just ginormous, man. That's so big. That's such a huge step. It's a small step, but it's a necessary step that someone without passion who's caught up in the politics of making somebody happy and favors might not even get to that point. And so while Sanders looks like he might not be able to achieve everything, at least we have his ideal goal. And if you shoot, like, I love this quote from Kanye. People are going to hate me already. But he says in his song, reach for the moon, so if you fall on a cloud. I'd rather reach for the moon and then fall where I may, as opposed to being like, well, that's unrealistic. Shoot for the clouds and maybe not even get to the clouds, right? Like, fucking try your best, man. Try your best for the ideals, and where you fall is the best.
But then that goes into another like category in itself. Like, is that there's like two different kind of people out here in the world. There's the ones that are all about themselves individually, and then there's ones that are about the community as a whole. Yeah. And there's ones that are like, I don't want to try to go to the moon because his try to go to the moon means we as a whole.
I got shit to do down here on Earth.
I got to think about my neighbors. I got to care about my neighbors. I got to split up all this different shit. I got to give all this and that. And where the others are out there and they exist, and they're the ones voting for the Trumps that are like, I don't want to have to share. I don't want to have to do that. If we're going to shoot for the moon, we're going to do it solo. I'm going to the moon. We're not all going to the moon. You know what I mean?
The social,
like, that's the issue. That's a big issue because then that plays in that socialism side that you were gonna talk a little bit about. But it's like, why wouldn't we want to better when would we lose that community feel, that mentality?
Those people that you are interacting with, Rocco, I'm hard pressed to believe that they are making over $500,000 a year. And
Some of them, I mean, honestly, some of them are, and they're like really pissed off about the taxes that they're.
And that's the socialism part about Bernie Sanders of like, this is how we're going to pay for these things he wants to do. It's like, oh, socialism, blah, blah, you're going to take my money from me? It's like, well, hold on. Most middle classes will either stay the same in the tax bracket or actually go down. It's only the people who are making like $1 million more
it's
a
$450,000 plus.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and so... And like a lot of these people I'm hearing, like,
and on top of that,
do you really make that much money?
Like, we ever look back at our American history, we'll find out that this tax bracket is not even the most extreme that we've seen in our like 100-year history by any means.
Now that opens
there was
up
a tax bracket that was 90% at some points.
Right.
Like,
I know.
So it's like, this is not the most extreme tax bracket we've ever came into, and if it's going to be going into those places like we were talking about, the ones that at least Bernie Sanders is saying that he wants to fund, like the education, or or like our veterans, like helping out veterans, their homeless issues that are going on. It's like, I think that should be an okay, but that's coming from a perspective that says that I look at like humanity as a community. Like, how do I help all of us kind of raise up as a whole? Because if we raise up all as a whole together, that whole as itself raises up too.
Totally agree.
And it's like, there's just too many other individuals out there that are like,
selfish.
Bro, you're not going to take my shit. You're not going to take mine, and I'm not going to go, fuck you, I don't want to help you. I'm going to need to help me. And it's like, that mentality, though, is that opposing mentality in the world that is voting for the Trump. You know?
So the best anti-socialism thing, like analogy I've seen, is that you see those things on Facebook where it's like, you're like, here's what socialism is, like, oh, you have a sign, let me take half that sign from you, right?
Oh, yeah,
and then somebody actually was like, look, actually that's not what socialism is in this day and age that we're talking about for the American people that Sanders is providing, like, or advocating for. Socialism is, hey, I have 15 signs and I only need 5. So here, why don't you take some because you need some? Like, that's what he's advocating for. We're not saying, like, people freak out. They're like, what? You're going to come in and take my refrigerator and I need that? Like, no, dude, no one's going to come and take your shit. No one's going to, like, take a giant paycheck. Like, it's not going to give to, like, the druggie down the street. Like, what we're advocating for is the people who have way more than they need are going to start giving to those that are struggling, like the middle class, the lower middle class, like the single moms who have like kids or whatever. Like, help them out, because those guys are going to be able to like give back to the community a lot more than someone who's sitting on a pile of cash who's not spending, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff involved.
But that's a lot of people don't understand that part about how that affects the society.
A lot of people don't understand investments for the future. They spend their money immediately when they get it, as opposed to like getting out of the rat. So like, there's so much economic like education involved with a lot of this stuff. That I'm not
when you're
surprised.
even talking about like a bunch of different people sitting on a ton of money, like that's a big issue. That's one of the issues that Bernie's talking about, like the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. Like this argument, people don't understand what that really means. What that means is that there's a small amount of people, very small amount of people that own a lot of the money. When the money doesn't move in the system, the economy falls. So it's like now you're putting all the money into one person's pocket, but that person doesn't really want to go out and go buy shit.
It's not even in America. It's
like,
being,
all right, I don't
it's
even
being
need
thrown
it.
overseas and,
Right,
and to get out of tax. Like, it's insane how
so
many loopholes
that
there are.
happens. You get money stop flowing. You get economy that drops. You get everybody that fails now. Not just like now everybody fails.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
you got to look at that, like you were saying, the foresight of the future. You have to be looking about like what's going to possibly become, not just about what's right here, right now.
Most people can't do that though. They're worried about what the problems are afflicting them now. They don't care about generations two generations ahead of time. You know,
It's like the argument for global warming, right? It's like I don't want to think about any of that shit, any possibility of anything like that at all right now, because today I don't feel like I have to worry about that. It's like it's nice outside, it's good. I've got to go make my money. I'm just going to go do my thing. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh gosh.
Well, look, we gotta wrap this up, and I think there's a lot more meat on this thing that I think we could probably bring into next week's episode, so we might be able to continue this. But that is another episode of the Everything and Nothing Show. I hope you enjoyed us talking about VR, talking about some Grapefruit reaction.
Yeah, Grapefruit.
Video
Oh my
game,
gosh, dude,
movie talk, Sausage Party coming out August 11th. Check it out. We're super excited to continue this stuff and to gain your support, whether it be paid via patreon.com or YouTube, or free via commenting, liking, subscribing, and even watching us stream League of Legends play. All of that is super helpful, and we're excited to hear what you guys think.
If you guys get us to 750, we will be taking the Grapefruit Challenge.
Yeah, that would be great. We'll film that, and we'll put that on there. Until next time, guys, it's been an honor to entertain you. Peace. Take care.
Adios, guys. Have a good one. You know, VR headsets can be used in things like entertainment, like we were talking about.
Porn.
Yeah, that is.
Look, and the reality of the situation is whatever porn adopts wins.
Wins, exactly.
So, Betamax, VHR, porn with
Hey,
VHR.
talk about entertainment too as well. I read this article on entertainment. It was talking about VR headsets, and this company they're working with called like what's it called? Live Like VR. Okay, and what they're doing is they're creating like stadiums. They're working with Manchester United right now. And they're creating like stadiums in VR so that when you go to watch the game on one of these VR headsets, it's like you're sitting inside the stadium watching the game. And they're also looking at tying in the technology of the 360 cameras that we had talked about previously in one of our episodes.
Yeah.
And starting to shoot the footage in the games with those cameras, and then using the VR headsets so that you can kind of like become immersed into the game, like wherever you want it to be within it.
I heard they're going to do this with concerts too.
Yeah.
You know, concerts?
Like concert festivals and stuff. Yeah.
See, that's gonna be.
So like instead of buying like a ticket to go to it, you can buy a virtual ticket.
Right, exactly. Like a digital copy of something.
Can I get really excited about something really quick?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, cool. So I was talking to Sarah about some like things that you're touching on, like I was like, honey, I think we're actually pretty close to teleportation, but I don't think it's gonna be teleportation in what we believe it to be. I think it's gonna be more like avatar based. Like if I wanted to like come visit Rocco, like maybe Rocco has like the surrogate android just chilling in his like I don't know, like room, and I'm just like
Your
I put
VR
my
headset
on,
activates it.
and I download into that thing, and like I move, and like I come on, like, hey Rocco, and like we hang out or something. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh,
which would be
totally
crazy.
cool. That would be a way awesome.
But that would be like
experience.
teleportation. I feel like I wouldn't have to buy a plane ticket to visit my family. Like maybe I would just
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Or like the like super duper upgraded version of Skype. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like you got a robot
Skype's
now.
got
You're able to
upgraded.
chill. It's not having to be done through.
I mean,
like,
it wouldn't be that like tactile feel with skin and all that, but you
Yeah.
wouldn't need to like walk around your house.
Until you have human surrogates.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
too.
talking way in the future, but I would think that would happen first before teleportation, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it could. It could.
I
Think about
watched-
think about healthcare too, like how this could get used in healthcare. What do you guys think?
VR?
Yeah.
Oh, so like they could get into like a tiny little robot inside of your like blood vessels,
Oh.
and
Oh, they
then
could definitely do
operate
something
and
like
be able
that.
to see
Yeah.
around. Like, oh, here's where the scar is, or here's where like the
That's awesome.
fat buildup is, or
Yeah.
something.
Because they already have
Oh.
nanobots that can go in, right? And
Turn
like,
some of the- sorry.
Yeah, they already have battle bots too.
Yeah. BattleBots.
just like,
I was like, yeah. Wait, what?
doctor, you sent the nanobots in, right? What? I thought it was BattleBots.
Who mixed these up? Who mixed these vials up?
yeah.
Or you could think about it like in the, like a neurosurgeon who's going to practice, on this person first before he actually does it, like the actual surgery. He can use the VR headset to kind of do like
Right.
with it.
All
Okay.
right.
So my topic is about virtual reality headsets.
Yeah, it is.
Now we've discussed some little stuff about virtual reality when we were talking about like future of gaming and stuff before in our previous episodes. But today I want to just talk specifically about virtual reality. So 2016 is supposed to be like a huge year coming up right now with virtual reality headsets. They're coming out like all different months coming out this year. So with Oculus, I believe it's supposed to be sometime like real soon, if not this month. Let's see. For example, Oculus Rift. Oh, I had it up before. Maybe I can't see it right now. But anyways, it's supposed to be in 2016. So launching later in 2016. So I guess it's going to be a little bit later. But with them all coming out, I think it's going to revolutionize not just something like the gaming industry like we were talking about before previously,
Yeah.
but if it's going to revolutionize, I think, a lot of different industries. And I want to just discuss with you guys a few different things about that first. So first off, I was talking to my wife last night about when I was saying like, hey, you know what we should probably do? We should look to invest into a virtual reality headset manufacturer or somebody that's going to be creating it or something like that, because I can see this being like a huge thing. 2006, it's really coming around. Back in the 90s, it was like kind of this thing we were like playing with this idea. Everybody really wanted
If
to
by
enjoy
idea
it.
you mean like a screen with like just red lines.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
over.
Just playing with the idea, We're like at some point we're gonna get into a system where we're gonna be able to like step inside and be immersive with it. But so I was looking up like different prices. I was like, all right, 2016 seems like it's gonna be the year for these things to be coming out. I want to look at like investing in a manufacturer, kind of stuff like that. But I also want to look at being, I want to look at possibly purchasing one of these VR headsets. And I've seen anything from around the $25 range, which is like the Google Cardboard one. They're saying, put a smartphone in front of it and you'll be able to kind of give that like very, that virtual reality experience at a lot cheaper budget, upwards to $3,000, which is like the Microsoft glasses, which is it's supposed to be like it incorporates like live action, everything else you can see in between, as well as virtual reality. So it's like you can almost take like your internet searches and project them onto the table.
It's like a 3D. It's like a HUD.
Yeah, exactly.
For like walking around.
So that one's like 3,000. So like the average range though, the VR headsets are kind of like somewhere around like 300 to somewhere of like $1,000. So it's like, okay, that's not too bad.
Now there's another one that's really simple. It's like McDonald's have it, for Christ's sake. It's where you can put your phone in. And
Yeah,
it's
just like
a,
card style
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, did you say that? Sorry.
Yeah, I said Google Cardboard, which is
Oh.
selling for $25. Yeah.
Okay,
But
my bad.
McDonald's is probably
Yeah, it's like a
yeah,
Happy Meal and you get it. It's so
exactly.
dumb. And then it's just gonna make your eyes smell like fries the entire time.
So here's some
Or like
things
Is that a
too.
bad thing?
The body.
maybe not.
The body, for example, like the brain actually can't distinguish between like a dream and like our waking state. Like it goes through the same experiences either way. So it can't distinguish between like a reality and a dream. So what I'm thinking about here is like how beneficial to the development of a child's brain, and that it can help out with problem solving, to even just learning things like I've used say for example this isn't obviously VR, but my baby can read like videos, just video, not even game where it's like super interactive, but video even works too.
Huh.
And I feel that's like 2D versus 3D,
Yeah.
But when my kid gets into games and stuff like that, and he plays a game like Little Big Planet, and we put puzzles and stuff like that all together or whatnot, I feel like it's helping.
You could, you can do some like blue collar kind of skills too. Like, I don't know why chopping wood like gets like thrown in my head, but there's different things that you can practice, I imagine.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah,
like
yeah.
that you would
Yeah.
you practice for a job.
Virtual
potentially.
reality too first.
Yeah, maybe an electrician is doing some stuff and he's like
Oh,
practicing.
yes.
You know what I mean? So instead of actually
Yeah.
going out in a field or having to do a test, it's more physical via the VR sake than like word bubbles and being
Or
like,
a car, working on a car instead of like
Yeah.
being underneath like a dangerous machinery or
So
something.
like
You're
pretty
just
much
Exactly.
any
checking
way that
it
you
out.
can do any type of any. So this would be something like why I was saying investment in the beginning is because when I was driving, I was thinking the same thing you guys are thinking right now. Companies are going to invest in this, and this is going to be the form of training, I guess you'd say. It's going to be like the replacement of the modules.
I
or the
don't know. I mean, I agree, but like, I think I have a feeling, and I've talked to our friend Justin, who's in the VR business. Like, there is a ton of money in the VR industry, but I'm curious if how much that bubble is being like is ready to pop. Because I agree with you, Rocco, and everything you're saying, but I don't know how close we are to this, and I fear, bless you, and I fear that like everybody's expecting this thing to like completely do it immediately. And
Yeah.
instead, I wonder if it's going to fall a little
Like,
bit before it.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Like trickle a little bit in,
Yeah.
then maybe really catch so hard, and then 10 years later,
Maybe
it's
I'm
like
completely
everywhere.
wrong, but like, yeah, I don't
Gotcha.
know.
Well, I was thinking it for the sake of like, so my wife she's being trained right now for ICU nurse, right? I was like, there's
Yeah.
two different spectrums of how, and I was going back, I went a few years back in my college years, during a summer, I was working at Panera. So there's like two opposite sides of the spectrum. You're an ICU nurse, or you're a guy working at Panera, learning how to make specific sandwiches, whatever it be. So both sakes and both jobs, we have to sit down in front of a computer and go through modules that are like, okay, this, and that. Maybe it's a video of a person. Maybe it's you're having to interact with it and say, hey, this is the answer to that question, whatever it be. But think about if we were both in virtual reality headsets, the guy at Panera or the girl at the ICU unit, and we're in virtual reality headsets where it's putting us into those experiences, but then telling us like we have to do it the way that they trained us to do, or whatever it is. And you can sit there as a manager and watch this person's watch how they go through it, like through their eyes essentially, and say, I don't know if this person's like an ICU person. You see the way that you kind of see their thought process, or you can kind of like just see that maybe through the virtual reality experience they really weren't achieving what we were trying to get them to do. This guy put mayonnaise on it when they're supposed to be doing mustard. This
Do you
lady's
need
cut
VR
wrong
to do
sides.
that though?
Yeah, do you need VR to do that?
Like, don't you? Couldn't you just have a regular camera? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to the Everything and Nothing Show. I'm just one of your hostess with the Moses. A beard that's a little mangled, hair that's a little too long, a scruffy motherfucker who's too tired, Clayton Kisco, and I'm accompanied with the rest of the Maelstrom Gamers with you today. On this podcast, we have the A-Train, the Canadian sensation, Alan Toner.
It's me.
Yeah! Win!
Who is that?
Win!
That's me.
Win!
Oh, jeez, I love that intro.
And last but not least, we
There it
have
is.
the heartthrob, Rocco Avellino.
That's right, or AKA Butterscotch. That's right.
What?
AKA
Did I just
Butterscotch. It's so good. It's so
Yeah, I don't
good.
know. It just came out of nowhere. It's mine.
That's great.
I'm gonna own it.
Good one.
He goes,
For
what?
those of you guys who don't know, us Maelstrom Gamers, we hop on a Skype every morning on Saturday, sometimes too early, and we each bring a topic for our discussion, but more importantly for your entertainment. We have 5 topics for you, so 5 discussions. Each topic is a YouTube video sent out Monday through Friday, topic by topic, and on Saturday, all the topics are rolled into one giant episode, all 5 of them on Saturday for free on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Maelstrom Gamers channel. On Sunday, there's nothing. But you know what you can do? You can go to patreon.com/Maelstrom Gamers channel, and you can send us $1, as little as $1, and we will give you the YouTube videos for free a week early. If you don't like Patreon, that's cool. You can go to YouTube, our YouTube channel, and throw us $1 there. As little as $1, that's all it takes, and all of it is super appreciative, and it helps a ton. It puts money back in. We get new microphones, we get better equipment, and maybe more storage space.
We can shave our beards.
We can shave our beards. We can do all these kind of things. If you don't have money, there's free ways to support us too. There's Facebook, there is the YouTube channel, there is Instagram, and there's Twitter. So follow us, like us, comment, subscribe. It's super amazing. We've had some pretty interesting, for instance, comments on the Flat Earth channel. So I don't know where all you non-Flat Earth believers are, but like apparently the Flat Earthers are watching us, because the second we posted that video, they had a ton of comments. Yeah, they were not happy at all. So it would be really great if we got some of you guys on that episode. Just to
anyone out there who wants to defend that the world is not flat, you can get on our channel, please.
Because if I don't hear anything, I'm just going to assume I'm going to become a Flat Earth believer. I guess it's that simple.
I might need to make an island.
Yeah, it's as simple as that the Earth is flat.
Yeah, so I guess everybody believes it. So I might
I've never seen a curve.
Fall in line. Another thing we do is we are streaming on YouTube. Not so much Twitch anymore these days. We're streaming League of Legends mostly, but we have other games. You can come and see us show off our mediocre gaming skills. We're not the best, but we're certainly not the worst. But we are entertaining, so you will enjoy, I promise. That is the intro. Let's get started with a topic. Who wants to go first? I'm going to democratize this. Who wants to go first?
I'll take it.
All right.
Let me ride it. This mock procedure.
Or other surgeons can kind of see how a really highly acclaimed surgeon does his work.
Yeah.
And learn from him.
You get the scalpel POV.
Yeah, right.
I think this what
It's
my
still gonna
point
be porn,
is
whatever porn does. I'm telling
It's
you.
going to be poor, man.
Yeah.
with the 360 camera.
Dick POV.
It's whatever view. If you want POV, it doesn't matter. You can get whatever you want.
Have you seen that video of people reacting to VR porn?
No.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my God.
Wait, there is VR porn? I mean,
you just see this woman with this VR thing, right? And she's just like just like pushing away.
Too close. Too close.
Yeah.
That's not where I wanted to jump in at.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, let's turn it around. Go ahead, Rocco.
So my point, I was going to open up the floor a lot more, was just like where VR can take us, like where it can revolutionize, like where our society is today, and like the steps that it can help make with coming around, where it can be incorporated. Like we were just saying, the medical industry, entertainment industry, education. Can be used there, even in therapy, like I was saying about the brain not being able to distinguish reality, like conscious reality from like the sleeping dream state.
oh yeah.
Like think about therapy, you know what I mean? Like
I was thinking of Sunshine. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I don't think so.
Have you seen that, Clay?
No.
Really? It's like where the sun is dying and they have to send like a nuclear weapon into it to like reignite it. You guys ever see that movie?
No.
How did that make you?
Okay. Anyway,
Wait,
so in the movie,
How did that movie?
because obviously these guys are on a mission, like a space mission. There's obviously psychological issues that you could be facing when you're like traveling, right?
Yeah.
One of the technologies they show in the movie is they go into this. I think they called it the Earth Room, and basically they would go into this almost virtual reality state, and you could like kind of use it as therapy. So like he,
Make you feel
it's
like
Chris Evans, Captain America, is in this room, and he's basically standing on a boat, and waves are like crashing in front of him. And he's just watching that over and over and over again, kind of like therapy, where you might have something like that now. Is like you create like a perfect environment for somebody to like calm down or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So I was like, you use a VR headset, something like that, I guess. I mean, that's a little bit more extreme. He's out in space. He wants something that kind of make him feel like he's back at Earth. But
yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, he created that experience of being back on Earth as his therapy session. You can make it be whatever it is. Like, say it's like you're a kid that has trauma issues with your parent, and you have your parent just record themselves saying, "I love you so much. I love you so much." And it's like you see this scene that plays over and over in your head in the VR headset that just reinforces that you got this love from your parent or something like that, and the kid heals from the parental issues or something, whatever it be. You can create whatever scenario you wanted and use it for therapy's sake.
Yeah. that's
Or
a really good
education, like
point.
we are saying too, you know? Like education, think about like kids being able to put on a VR headset and like learn interactively. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like games have already been proven to be something that's very